This week's episode of the Cooptional Podcast is proudly sponsored by Squarespace. Get 10% off your first order at squarespace.com/cooptional. Create your own professional-looking website with no prior knowledge required at squarespace.com/cooptional.
We don't have an intro. We tried to download the intro file. We realized the Google Drive it's on is like 3 years old and has expired. So now we have to tune in. We're talking to you. Co-optional. Wait, hold on. Fight! Don't I then kill you? I kill you with a dinosaur now, don't I? Yeah. Apparently we're now too loud. Great. You see, we tested all of this right before the podcast went live, and now people are claiming we're like far too loud. Your ears. Yeah. Tune in, we're murdering you. Tune in, we're murdering your ears. It's like, we're clipping. We tested this. We tested it. To be fair, maybe we weren't yelling. With singing. That's a fair point. Yeah, so. That might have been why. It's like no compressor. All right, let me just make this clear. We're in Dodger's office. Oh, Dodger's audio equipment. She's using the same mic I recommended her 6 years ago. I think.
Actually, that's my microphone.
It is. Yeah, I upgraded to Jesse's microphone. No, it was really just beautiful the moment when Jesse was like, "I need somewhere to plug this thing in," and I was like, "I don't have."
You don't have an audio interface. You have no audio interface.
I have nothing that will help you. They both just looked so disappointed in me as a person. So it's good.
Yeah. We did sound check before the show, but I've cut it down a little bit. I'm really, really loud compared to everybody else.
That's because you're right in it. You're like in it.
You're all up in it.
So just like...
That's probably got something to do with it. Is the sound any better now? We have cleaned it up a little bit. If I move back slightly.
Poop-de-doopy-doop.
Poop-de-doop-de-doop.
Poop-de-doopy-doop.
Apparently I'm too powerful.
So strong.
Okay, yeah.
So strong, your voice.
Stop projecting the voice, okay.
Yeah. You're so loud.
We're hanging back slightly, yeah. We looked to try and figure out what the best way to record here, and it was just like, let's go with what we have. Yeah. Apparently it's a lot better now. Okay.
Good.
All right, I'll try not to shout as much then. That sounds like a good
so
idea.
So powerful. What a powerful, strong voice.
Okay, so should we...
are you gonna actually try
no, not again.
I'm kidding. Option. Come on, guys. Somebody's gotta stop me.
Fight! And then I get cats thrown at me, and then I steal away a girl.
You do.
And that's, I kidnap a woman.
I tried to save the princess in that intro, and then
really, I think I'm the bad guy in that.
You are, actually, I'd say so.
I'm the villain of that intro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we need a new one where there's 3 women instead of 1 that I save. And Dodger falls to her death. And TB is rocketed to Mars.
Right. They're suggesting we change positions so that I don't clip as much, so I'm further away from the mic.
But then someone else will still be in front of the microphone.
Dodger's the quietest, so she can sit in the middle.
I
guess we're doing that. All right,
you're usually the quietest. You're usually like a quiet baby.
All right.
You're a quiet baby.
All right. Okay.
Let's make that one. All right.
We did it.
Yes. Hopefully this is better.
You still have to type the things and touch the stuff.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Yeah, give me that.
There's
there
that.
We go. Cool.
Here's
I'm
this.
doing production as usual. Yeah. But it's a little trickier.
You're in charge. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So apparently that should be a bit better. Hopefully.
Yeah, of course that's better. That's wonderful.
Yes. No.
Yes,
just
great.
Just checking.
That's great.
Are we good? Much better, great. Apparently. Much better.
Cool.
Good. Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. We're probably too quiet now knowing them, but I'm sure
whatever.
it'll be fine.
It's fine. fine.
It's a show.
Fine.
You're getting a show. We're all in the same room. I brought them into my Weeb castle, and they actually stayed to do a show here.
Yeah, the Weeb castle.
Yeah,
we didn't really have too much of a choice with that. It was like, we have a Squarespace ad this week. We need to do a podcast, guys. Like, damn it, I'm in LA. How the hell are we going to do this? But we figured it out, I guess.
We did. Yeah. We did figure it out.
A bit.
It worked out. Worked out fine.
It did. It really did. Welcome to the Cooptional Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Coming up in the show, we're talking about the games that we have been playing this week, most likely. We will be trying to sell you Squarespace, for the most part.
Sure.
You should make a website, baby.
Yes. I didn't quite have the time to put anything together, so we're going to do the ad read live, which I'm sure is definitely not going to go wrong in any way.
Fine.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful. Yeah, I can't imagine that being a problem. And we will talk a little bit about the news, whatever there is, and then we'll kind of wrap up the show, and probably be about 2 hours today, something like that. I don't know, maybe.
Can all of our news be fake? Can we just make up drama and see how far it goes?
Oh, I have a good fake news story. Konami makes a big boss pachinko machine. Right? That would never happen, right?
That would never happen.
No, absolutely not.
Right, though?
Yep.
Isn't that hilarious?
That would be ridiculous,
so
yeah. Apparently the autofocus is screwing around. Can we turn autofocus off on the camera?
I can do that.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
No
optional.
There we go.
That's what we should do every week that we don't have a show. Just put on no optional. Tune out.
Oh my god, you literally just like play a skewed intro and then just end the stream.
End the stream? Yes, that's perfect.
That's what we need.
No optional. Tune out. Fucking watch something else.
Oh my god, and it's the exact same intro except all of, like, we're not in it. So, like, it's the dinosaur but with no TV on
so
it.
there's nobody anywhere in it,
and there's no one who's like...
TV. It's the actual fight screen, but neither of us are fighting on it. There's just cats kind of walking around.
The princess is burnt alive by the dragon.
Oh my god.
It's worth paying thousands to get that intro made. It really is.
It would be so funny. Oh my god.
That's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Sabertoons, I hope you're there.
Yeah.
I hope you're
we're going to make the no optional intro at some point. That's absolutely going to happen, no doubt.
Yep.
That's amazing.
That would be creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep,
maybe like get a slightly altered music track, just slightly, like something really subtle, like maybe remove a little like part of the guitar harmony or something. Just make it like feel a bit more lonely,
creepy or weird.
Creepy,
Can we just talk over it, but then play that part in reverse the entire track? So it's like, we are not here right now, so do not watch this episode. But it's reversed.
Oh, I was thinking that it's like there's like a slight key change to make it sound weird, and then it's just us.
Shift to a minor key.
No optional. No optional. We're not here right now.
No. We didn't try at all.
We're actually gone.
Watch our fucking videos instead.
You tuned in, so you probably should have looked at our Twitter.
Follow us on social media.
That's your fault, not ours.
Just blame the viewers for everything.
Yeah, it's just like
so good.
Oh my god, I love it.
Why are you even on this channel right now? But it's a really... Oh, you know what? We need one lone guitar.
It's just an acoustic track?
It's just an acoustic track, and it's us in the background. Just singing the song, but really sad.
You guys heard that.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Still my guitar gently weeps.
Just one guy just playing, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Miracle of sound.
Yes!
You got good.
Get on that one guitar.
Absolutely.
No optional.
Need your talents.
Yeah. Feel like Skype sound is way better than this. Of course it is. We have 4 separate microphones that are properly set up. We have a mic that's right there on a boom and a webcam. This is how it's gonna be.
Yep.
Never mind, we need Crendor to sing it. Crendor's right. Crendor, you're right. We need you to sing it like, no optional. I guess you could watch my videos.
I can sing it with that enthusiasm.
Yes. Buy my shirts instead.
They're not streaming, but I am.
Because I'm always streaming. It's all I do. Watch me play Bloodbowl.
Dude, Crendor blows my mind because somehow he manages to, like, he'll have streams where he's playing a game and then he'll be like, I'm gonna go get food. And he'll literally leave his stream going on an empty chair for over an hour.
Oh, yeah.
and he'll come back and he'll have maybe more viewers. And I'm like, what the
I don't get it.
fuck happened here?
I mean, if you're gonna blame anybody for Crendor's behavior, you've got to blame his viewers for
it's
letting
you!
him get away with that.
You're the
it's
problem!
Your fault.
You did this!
Why do you do it? Why do they let him get away with this?
You tuned in, there's no show for you.
He's a funny motherfucker.
I want to make lyrics to that damn song. It's stuck in my head. I want to make the best song. That's my goal today. While you guys are talking, I'll be making up this song.
Jesse, what games have you been playing? Here, let me curb this now.
Indeed.
Well, this past week, besides playing Murdered Soul Suspect for the channel, which I just started, well, everyone and their brother was like, that game's shit. It's horrible.
I need you to talk about that. I really do. Because I think, like, when that game came out, none of us played it, did we?
Nope.
No, I didn't play it.
But everyone was like, it's fucking awful. The port's bad. Everything's bad. I will definitely say the port's not the best. Like, there's definitely some issues with trying to use a mouse and keyboard. But if you can get past some of the jankness of it, or just use a controller, I still think it's like a pretty interesting game. Like, I know it's not great, but it's that kind of not good that makes it entertaining. So it's, I don't know, I'm having a good time, but all the comments are like, this game fucking sucks, and you're dumb for playing it. And I was like, I've wanted to play this forever, and I want to play it now, so...
I've never understood people who are like, this game fucking sucks, you shouldn't be playing it. It's like, yeah, like, you're doing them a service, you're playing it on their behalf. They don't have to play it.
No.
That's true.
A lot of channels do really shitty games to get a lot of views doing that, because nobody wants to play that shit, but they want to see how bad it is. It's like watching, a car wreck in slow motion. People just love that shit.
Well, not only that, but... there are many times where people say, this game is going to be trash, don't play it. And then I play it and I'm like, I actually enjoyed that. Like, I didn't need it to be a stellar example of the video games industry, right? Like,
yeah.
I got some enjoyment out of it. I'm glad that I played it. Would I recommend it? No. But, like, I don't regret playing it.
I guess it's, like, less about guilty pleasure and more about, hey... it's the same reason you go and see a movie that you know is kind of going to be shit, but it's like, you know what, I want to watch this movie anyway, I want to turn my fucking brain off for a few hours, so it's... the problem with video games is that you actually have to work to get to the end of it, whereas with movies, you can sit there, absorb any old crap, and the worst you're going to get is bored, you know?
Yeah.
With video games, it's like, oh god, this is the most frustrating thing in the universe, I can't get past this bit, so fuck it, and I think that's why a lot of people don't get through mediocre or bad games, because they have to work to do it.
Yeah, it's not, I like some of the concepts in it. I think it's really, really clever. It's not really, I don't know, I guess it's a spoiler if you watch my playthrough, because it's the next episode. But, but there's a part where, like, it's like a side mission. Your character is in this apartment complex, and if you go into this one room, there's an old couple, and they're just talking about something that happened outside. And he's like, well, I haven't seen anything since that happened. She's like, don't you dare mention that. Oh, don't you mention that. And he's like, what? I'm just saying, And she's like, oh, don't talk about it. And you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? Then you turn and you go in the bathroom, and there's like a little spirit that, hold on, like that. And then it disappears. And you're like, what the fuck? Because it's like a spirit of a young girl.
Right.
And you're like, what? And then as you explore more, you find this ghost who's like, I was murdered in this apartment complex, and like some shit went down, and I think that old fucking couple killed me. And it's like, it's all coming together now. And so then you have to go back through and you have to figure out like how they did it and find the clues and evidence, which I love. But I like that little bit of, I stumbled across something and I was like, what is even happening here? And then it sort of came together. I love that in games. So it might not be great, but I'm enjoying it so far. So it's, look, I base my enjoyment on, is it better than Ride to Hell? And
that's
so
such
far,
a terrible way to gauge all games in your life.
It has done me well. It helps me put everything in perspective. Have I ever had to sit through a 5-minute elevator ride to get to a boss fight, died, then had to take that same 5-minute elevator ride? That is where I am.
I remember you claiming when I first talked to you about Ride to Hell, it's like, yep, I'm gonna do that, let's play on that, and you just gave up, and as did almost everybody else.
Didn't Joe, like, play the whole thing?
I think he actually did. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he beat it.
I think he committed because every time that game comes up, I just see a little bit of his soul, like, flash.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the video he did on that, like, got him a lot of views, though. I think he's like 4 million or some shit on his review of Ride to Hell. I think he's okay.
Nobody has ever
committed the way he committed.
Yeah, he beat it.
I know.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I know the completionist in our office tried to do that on a stream.
And couldn't do it.
And he got to the same part everyone else got to, which was, I think, right after the first boss, where you have to chase him down on a motorcycle and knock him off.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most impossible things, and he just gave up. So
it's terrible. It's the game that makes me think Sarkeesian might have a point. It's like, you know what?
You're right.
Video games are horrible to women because Ride to Hell.
You're absolutely right.
It's
the game industry is falling apart.
We are shitlords.
There it is.
All of us.
Yeah.
I mean, that game made me lose faith in so many people that just, like, people worked on this game. They developed.
We know the writer.
We met the writer.
We met the writer, and I was like, I just want to say how much I love you. I was like, you, sir, are a fine individual.
And it's awesome because talking with him about it, he knows. He's like, yep, we made a trash game. We made a terrible trash
really
game.
Bad.
He's like, we tried to make something, and it turned out to be not good.
The worst.
Not at all.
Turned out to be the worst game maybe ever.
He said that one of the first things he did, because he wasn't the original writer. He was brought on to, like, punch it up.
Oh, God.
He said one of the first things he did was have to go through and change all the sex scenes because it was like one of the most sexist games he's ever seen.
It still is.
And
the final version still is. Yeah,
it's incredible.
He's like, there's a lot in this game that is wrong.
He kept trying to change stuff, and they were like, "No, that's not our vision." And he was like, "What?
But what is their vision exactly? Like, oh my God, that was. God, this show's getting heavy quickly. But like the way that they treated the women in that game as like acquisitions essentially. Like you did a mission and it's like, hey, you got a clothed sex scene, which is comically bad. But that's bad enough. And then it was like, yeah, so I was about to be sexually assaulted, but I really feel like I want to do you right now. Like, what? No.
You know, she's.
Choose your words carefully right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, watch it.
You know, video games.
Not an excuse. Not in any way an excuse.
No. I mean, you know, video games.
Oh my gosh.
That's somewhere Anita's like,
genuinely awful and horrible.
I told y'all.
Yeah.
I told y'all. We're just like, oh boy.
I bet you didn't play that game the whole way through. I bet you couldn't stand it.
Oh, I mean,
she didn't need to play it the whole way through.
Pretty much no one did,
No.
except for Joe.
Yep.
Joe's like the only
Joe's
person
the expert.
I think
Yeah.
who played the whole thing. So power to you, Joe. I
Well
would
done,
pour
Joe.
one out for you, but I'm literally in my office and I don't want coffee stains.
Oh, that is coffee.
It's actual. What
Or
do you
like
mean?
I was gonna
just,
pour
like,
water
start
into your
spilling
cup so
water.
you could drink it, but it's coffee.
It's coffee.
I guess we could. We could just pour it on the carpet. It's just water.
Pour it out for Joe.
Just destroy the office.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ride to Hell, a game we have not been playing, thankfully. There's bad.
How did we get here?
We were talking about like playing bad games and kind of finding some value in them.
Right. Yes.
Ride to Hell is a game that you just can't find any value in. There's nothing. There's nothing there. There are some games that are cheesy bad, and you'll still find something to enjoy. But Ride to Hell is a lifeless husk of a game.
Jesse, I feel like you're like half like kind of in frame, and
Hold
I don't
on, hold
know.
on,
I
get
don't know
behind you.
how to. Wait.
These
no.
chairs are basically too big.
I know.
Like,
I feel like. Well, wait.
What are you doing? What?
I'm gonna scooch this
what are
way,
you doing,
and
son?
then you scooch this way, right?
but then you'd be too far away from the mic.
No.
I don't know.
Untrue.
No,
I can project.
Now I'm very close comparatively.
Yeah, so you're going to be a lot louder now.
This is a horrible idea.
No, now everybody can see the full beard. They were getting half beard.
What the fuck? No one cares.
People were asking
care.
why exactly we didn't do this in your office, because you've got better audio setup.
Because it would be a way bigger hassle to get stuff off of his desk and get all of us in there.
Now Jesse is too loud, according to that.
You know what?
Back off, Jesse. Go on.
Dang it! I tried to help.
It's all worse now.
Go back in my corner.
No.
Don't go back there. It's too far.
Okay now? Internet, are you happy with me?
Good. Do you love me?
Do you love me?
Okay.
Oh god, what else? Jesse, what else have you been playing this week?
We're gonna have fully closed sex now. Is that what's about to happen?
No, that's not gonna happen.
Also, this week I had the pleasure of being on a plane for most of it and then traveling, so I only got to play Pokemon Shuffle, which I've been playing far too much of.
The last 3 weeks you've talked about Pokemon Shuffle.
I can't help it.
The last 3 podcasts.
I can't help it. It's an addicting game.
He was playing it the entire time we were in New York.
Like, I love it.
Every time I looked at him, he was like, come on.
I love it so much. Then I got people there playing it.
Yeah, Matani was like...
He's like, how do I do this?
He
I was
couldn't
like,
find the optimize button, and I was like, it's right.
Let me tell
right
you about
there.
the shuffle. Let me tell you about the Pokemon Shuffle. I love it. It's a cheap ass game that does not play by its own rules. It's pretty awful. There's some levels where it's like, you only have 3 turns to do this. If you don't do it on turn 1, if you don't beat this Pokemon on turn 1, you don't get S rank. How do you do that? How's that even possible? Which means you have to level up all your characters or spend the money to add extra turns.
There have been a few times where I've had to just get a few levels ahead and then go back with like way more buffed out Pokemon and then be able to get S rank on something. Like
I refuse. I refuse. If I hit something where I hit like A rank, I will stay at that spot until I hit S rank, and I ain't moving on.
Sometimes it's just in your best interest to come back.
When
you're buffer.
Look, I'm at level 99 with my Pokemans.
Well, alright.
And I have S rank on everything except for the one I'm currently on, which I can't beat.
How long have you been on it?
Oh, just today. It's a new one. I don't know his name. His name's like Click Clack or some crap. And he's a little white Pokemon, and he like keeps making all my shuffleboard things turn into gray things that you can't destroy. But by 3 turns in, half the screen's gray. I'm like, I can't work under these conditions. I'm just a Pokemon kid. I ain't got time for this. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's really all I've been doing. I'm boring and lame.
That's okay.
But we did do some cool stuff we can't talk about.
We did do some cool stuff we can't talk about.
So
I got a piercing on the street in New York. That was good shit.
I had a man on top of me.
You did.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
We can't talk about... A man was nailing me. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
a man got on top of me and nailed me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. From the front and the back.
I was nailed in the front and the back.
Yeah.
That's true. Crazy thing, you were too.
Oh, I also was. Yeah.
Yeah, you were nailed.
Same guy.
Same guy nailed you.
Yep.
But did not get on top of you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit.
All right. Well, yeah, but yeah, we both got nailed by this guy.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, it was great. It was a great experience.
It was a good experience.
Really fun.
Yeah, I really liked it.
It was really fun. This man nailed us both. So
soon we will no doubt find out what that's all code for.
Yes.
But until that time, we will assume the worst.
One day you'll know what that meant.
Not this day.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And only if you have an internet app that allows you to view videos. So for the majority of you out there, you will never know what that was about.
You'll never see it. Never, ever.
So,
unless you follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
At DexBonus. DEXBONUS. Follow me on the tweets.
Find out who she got nailed by.
Yeah.
New York was fun.
Yes.
Yeah. I have almost beat Jotun. Finally. Yeah, so remember last time we talked about that game and you were like, oh, the J, and I was like, Jotun. And you were like, no,
the Jotun.
The J is like a Y sound. Ooh, it's getting dark in here. Oh. The J is like a Y
right,
sound.
that fucked up the lighting.
Yeah.
Implying we had lightning.
It'll come back. Look, see, here we go.
We're relying on the sun.
We're relying on the sun to do
a bad
its
idea.
thing, yeah.
It's only because the tube lights you've got there looked even worse than that. So like, all
yeah,
right.
when the lights were on, we all looked like we were ascending into the sky because we are pale. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So it turned into not only is the J a Y sound, but the U isn't a.
Jotun?
It's like a.
Jotun?
It's like a. It's like
Jotun?
Jotun.
Jotun?
Yeah, and people were like, I kept trying to do it, and they were like, just stop.
Here's the deal.
Just
I liked it
don't
better
try
when it was
anymore.
Jotun. I liked it better when we were innocent and it was Jotun until some guy was like, it's Jotun. It's a Jotun? That's clearly a J-U, Jotun.
I keep trying. One day they're going to be like, wow, that was like pretty passable.
Or is it J-O? However you spell it.
It's J-O. J-O-T-E-N.
However you spell it.
But so I've got one battle left. I didn't have time to try and beat the game on stream yesterday, which made me very sad. But that game pissed me off. I think I had the biggest Hulk out on stream that I've ever had in my life playing that game.
A lot of people messaged me and asked if you had walked out of your office into the hall. I wasn't here at the time, so I have no clue. I cannot verify.
Furious. Like, furious, because I had a battle that... And I just like to establish, even though I've had difficulty with these battles, I would say in comparison to other games that are like, you have this big boss to beat that has a pattern and blah, 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 blah. It's not that the battles are particularly difficult. It's about, like, timing and all of your abilities and remembering to use them and whatever else, which I'm bad at management, so of course it takes me a while. But I beat this fucking guy. I beat him. But at the same time that I beat him, he had called forth, like, little comets, and they killed me, and even though he died first, it still said that I lost. And I was like, fuck you, game. The whole concept of this game is that I've drowned, and I'm trying to defeat giants in Giningagap, and...
Here's the thing.
It's like, I can't die! I'm already dead!
Here's the
what
thing.
The fuck? I was so angry.
It isn't that you died. It's that you lost.
No, I didn't, because I beat that guy. I beat him, and I had to go back and do it, and I had to beat him again. I had to beat him again. It was unfair.
It isn't that you died.
Bullshit.
It's that in the eyes of Odin and Thorson,
right.
Thorson McGregor, his illegitimate child by Celtic goddess Gurgi-Burgi.
The girl that you play in the game is a descendant of Thor.
Well, here's the deal. As a descendant of Thor, you shouldn't have got shit on by some falling meteors. You should have got off the plane.
I am but mortal.
No, you said you were dead, so you're a ghost. So if anything, it's even more shameful.
I'm just trying to get into Valhalla.
It's even more shameful.
It's not fair. I didn't die in battle, even though I'm fucking dope at battle.
You're a ghost, and you shamefully got crushed by a meteor.
I got dragged into the waters and drowned, so I didn't have an honorable death, and then I had to beat all these giants. It's not fair. It's not fucking fair. Go watch that VOD. I get so angry. I leave, I come back, I go to break. Oh god, the salt is the realest salt.
You want to know real salt? Real salt? Go look at, what's that guy's name? Dead Mouse? Dead Mal? Dead,
yeah,
you know that
Dead
dude.
Mouse?
Dead Mal 5,
yes,
right?
Dead Mal 5.
Dead Mal 5, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go look at his Twitter.
They're my favorite group, the Dead Mal 5.
He was, last night, playing Diablo Hardcore mode.
Oh, God.
Had a level 56 character. And while streaming, I think the video's out there. While streaming, there was some sort of hiccup on the Diablo servers. Booted him. He goes back and his character's dead.
No!
And he was so pissed.
Oh my
His
God.
tweets to Blizzard was like, I couldn't. So much
I can't
rage.
believe people still play hardcore mode for Diablo 3. Because, like, you're still depending on their servers. If something goes wrong or with your internet connection, you're fucked.
Super fucked, yeah.
Yeah. Why would you ever,
much like
ever?
Dead Mal 5. Yeah.
So he got...
Free the Dead Mal 5. Free the Dead Mal 5. From their hardcore prison.
So he was not a please. All the people were messaging Blizzard like, you have to bring his character back. There's no way they can do that.
No.
It's like
it's
in
not like
the
they
game.
Can roll back the servers. And
they can't.
They can't do that.
That's like.
Well, I mean, think about how annoying it would be if people knew that you could do that, because everyone would be like, no, like there was some circumstance, like we don't care. Yeah. Like they've got to have a flat-out policy which says we don't bring hardcore characters back. Period.
Yep.
You know?
That is. I mean, that sucks. That sucks. Like that is. I have that same experience, and I tell it to the devs of The Witcher. Every time I see them, I remind them, again, that I played Witcher 2 on hardcore mode on insane difficulty, because I played that game so much, I was like, I'm so fucking good, I'm gonna get this achievement. It's the last achievement I need. Got to the third act, almost beat the game, died in a cutscene to a bow and arrow.
Yep.
I was so pissed.
Oh
I
my
literally lost my mind. I've never touched hardcore mode anything since then. I can't do it. It was like 2.5 weeks of my life gone. I was so pissed.
Why would any of you ever play a hardcore character in anything? That's insane. Why would you risk
I thought I
losing
could do
everything?
it. I thought I had the power.
There's a thrill there. Right?
Yeah, and then there's the misery after you inevitably die.
But, like, what if you don't?
But you will.
But what if you don't?
But you
What
will.
if you don't? TB, that's what you're, I mean, the potential joy of defeating something on hardcore, I think is, I mean, that's why.
No.
Or if
It
you're
is-
achieving
You're all
hunting,
crazy.
if you're
Yes,
Jesse.
You're
yeah.
all crazy.
It was the first game ever that I would have gotten all achievements for.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is my time.
This is it.
This is my time. I'm gonna do this.
Got this.
Fuck you, CD Projekt. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate you so much. I've never forgive. This is like Kirk with the Klingons. I'll never forget them for this.
Yeah.
You can get me in front of the court and play that clip back, and I'll be like, damn right. Damn right. That's
People are trying to
absolutely
compare
right.
hardcore to XCOM Iron Man. It's not even the same. Like, XCOM Iron Man mode, you can continue if you lose a character. It sucks, but you can. The difference between that and fucking Diablo hardcore is you can't continue that character ever. It's like losing a dude in your squad kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Losing your whole character that you spent 40 hours on is not okay. At all. I would be... That's just awful. No.
Yeah. I mean, it would be, well, you could say, why would anyone bother playing D&D then? Because,
You could say that.
yeah. Because, like...
But that has the hope of kindness.
Right.
Like, your DM's not going to screw you over. Like, there's the belief.
That DM doesn't
The
exist.
hope.
That DM isn't real.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
You hope it's a friend who's going to be like, sure, you rolled a 1 in the fiery pits of Morgoth. But, turns out, you had an item with you the entire time called the Ice Staff of Saving Your Ass. And you're good.
I think it's not even just that. It's like in D&D, you can continue your story with a new character, and what you did mattered.
Right.
I think like in Diablo 3 hardcore, what you did didn't even fucking matter at all.
I guess
Once your
that's true.
character
You were
died.
still part of, like, a greater thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you spent, say, 40 hours on that same character, you were still part of a story with other people, and you still have that experience, and that was worth something.
Yeah.
But, like, still, losing a character after you've played that character in the same campaign for, like, a year is the most heart-wrenching feeling in the world, because if your DM isn't gonna, like, throw you a bone, they're like, well...
You died.
You re-roll, buddy. No, I don't want to. Can somebody rest me, please? God. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the difference, like especially in like Bloodbowl and things as well. It's the difference between losing a player and losing your whole fucking team.
Oh, F
you
Blood
know,
Bowl.
like I think there's definitely value in having the deaths and injuries and shit in Blood Bowl, but like if you rolled a double 1 and your entire team exploded and you had to re-roll your whole team, I think people would not enjoy that game as much.
Oh, there have been plenty of times where they're like, oh man, the crowd threw rocks, and all of the rocks hit my entire fucking
Oh
team,
my
and
God,
the other
that's
team
the
is
worst.
perfectly fine, and I'm like, fuck you, kid.
Yeah, or like you're just getting horribly murdered by the enemy, and you're like, alright, okay, I accept it, I'm just going to avoid them for the rest of it. Look, they've scored 3 times, I've got 7, 8 injuries and 2 deaths, and then right at the end of the game's, you know, they get a touchdown, it's like, the touchdown roll is, blitz, they get an extra turn, and then just go and kill you again, like, no!
Oh, come on!
It's like, I have to have 3 people on the line, you're gonna kill all of them, aren't you, you son of a bitch?
I the very first game I played when I downloaded Blood Bowl 2, the kickoff event happened, and it was like it was either the Rocks or like fans stormed the field or some kind of crazy crap. 3 player killed. How's that
Jesus.
possible?
That's really unlikely.
Yeah,
I watched them just die, and then the other team had a few guys knocked down. That doesn't matter though. I had 3 players knocked down, instantly killed, and to make it worse, that's happened to me multiple times. There was a time when Sam and Crendor were watching, and that happened, and like 5 guys knocked out. No, I'm sorry, or stunned. 1 guy knocked out. 1 guy seriously injured. The other team had like 2 guys knocked down.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do this anymore.
It can
It's
collapse
sweet
on you
and
really, really hard. Like it's absolutely brutal. Having 3 deaths in your opening game though, that's a reroll the team situation.
Oh,
like,
for sure. That's
you
like,
can't.
never mind. I'm starting. But like, say that were to happen in the Crendorian Invitational, like that would, like, you can't just re-roll your team and hop back into the tournament, right? You have to just, like, deal with it and be like, I guess I'm gonna keep trying to play this game with a bunch of dead guys. That's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get a bunch of inducements,
You get inducements, which is nice.
The inducements aren't enough, though. I mean, although now, I noticed in Blood Bowl 2, if you have, like, a stand-in player, and you get through the match, if he's earned any SPP, it gives you the option to hire him.
You can hire him.
Which is legit. That actually solves a lot of that issue, because it used to be that you couldn't do that. Yeah. So you ended up with, oh great, I had SPP on my stand-in player, it's not even a part of my fucking team. So I may have got through this match, but it doesn't matter, because I haven't gained any of the benefit from it. I can't upgrade
anybody, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess that's okay. But, like, for the big Crendor Open League that he's doing, I find myself just... If I come against a team where I get, like, a really bad first turn, or they're obviously way, way higher level than me, I just concede. Yeah. Because it's not worth the injuries that I'm going to take.
Sure, yeah.
And there's no reason not to, because, like, you'll never play that guy again. You don't care. I mean, in a set league that has a set number of games, though, you really can't do that.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of the fact that after watching his video, that's the, like, hey, I'm going to judge everyone's team.
Yep.
Pretty much, I'm just useless. Because he's like, these guys are really good in a league that isn't just 9 games. And I was like, you fuckers. You all were like, you should play those guys, because they'll definitely kill people.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, I just want to kill people. Actually, they probably can't really kill anybody until maybe like 7 or 8 games in. I'm like...
Yeah, but they are better after you've won a few games.
Yeah.
Once you're able to upgrade your dudes, they're so effective. But like right at the beginning... That's one of the reasons why I was like, I'm gonna be dwarves. I already know that fucking Sam and Crendor have been playing this game for like 80 hours of their lives at this point. So I just need a team that can kill people.
Oh, I have no intention of winning. I don't care about scoring.
You just want to kill people.
I just want to kill people. My goal is to play Crendor's team and kill little Skittles. I don't care what happens in this league. As long as that happens, I'm gonna just surround him and stomp him. Over and over again, and I don't care. I'm gonna ignore all those other players.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ignore every play. That game is gonna be the kill little Skittles of the game.
But I feel like in the last, like, way long time ago, in the last tournament that we did, when
I didn't really know there was a little Skittles though.
Yeah, you did.
Not till the end.
Everybody was like, once Crendor had made little Skittles a big enough deal. Everybody was like,
try to kill him.
We gotta kill little Skittles. Yeah,
and we failed every time.
It fucked with all of our games because we were just like, let's just kill little Skittles rather than let's win the game.
Yeah, because when I play like Chaos Dwarves at that point, I was just like, I could murder this fucker, and I never managed it.
Yeah.
But you guys played towards the end.
Yeah, in the first league.
I'm hoping I find him towards the beginning.
Yeah.
So I get him first, like, and I'm still obviously I'm to try and think of when or not I've got time to play the league. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe at this point. So, but I've got him first, and that's a weird situation because we're both like lacking skills. So he's got his stronger Saurus at the front. I'm like, well, I can't fight his Saurus head on, but my blitzers have block and he doesn't. So I can maybe make something happen with that. But it's weird playing like Team Value 1000 teams.
Right.
Because it's like Jesse was saying, some teams are great right from the start and then level off a little bit. Some like take a few games to get going. Some are amazing when you're in a league that's got like 20, 30 matches. I mean, Dwarves are pretty good from the start, with the exception of the fact that you took a fucking death roller.
Everybody's like, why did you do that? And I'm like, because...
Yeah.
You basically have the same problem I had with Goblins in the Speedball League, where I'm like, I end up losing all my special weapons really early on because I can't afford the bribes to keep them on the field.
Right.
So that's the problem with the Death Roller. The Death Roller is amazing until you lose the Death Roller, which you will after the first drive, basically.
Right.
So ideally, what you want to do, maybe you get lucky and you get the ref, so you get a bonus bribe. But outside of that, you try and spend the first half doing nothing but fucking murdering the other team.
Well, that's
don't attempt to roll the ball in at all.
How does a death roller work?
It's this giant
it's literally
motherfucking
just a dude
machine.
On a big, like,
it's like
tractor with spikes all over it.
Yeah, it's like a steamroller with spikes on it. Like it's what's called a. I mean, it's. I don't know what there's a little characteristic in Blood Bowl. It's like illegal weapon or super weapon or special weapon or something, but basically, after you've gone through your first drive, they kick that guy off the field for the rest of the game unless you have a bribe. And you can bribe to keep it on after every drive.
Yeah.
So there's very, very few factions that have that. Like, right now, I think you are literally the only one that has one of those. The goblins are based around secret weapons. Yeah, the goblins are based around that. Because they have, like, 4 secret weapons. And their secret weapons get kicked off after the first drive.
I'm gonna open these up more.
So, ideally, what you want to do in the first half of the game is don't run the ball in, and don't let them run the ball in. Do as much fucking damage as possible before your special weapons get kicked off. So that's what she's going to have to do. So can that thing
just go as much as it wants?
I mean, it's really strong. Like, it's got a bunch of statistics. It's got, like, strength 8 or some bullshit.
So can you just run dudes down?
Kinda, yeah.
But you only have that one...
But you got one shot at it, basically. So it's either...
Can't you just put them on the front and just be like, and run a guy over immediately?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you try to do, for sure.
Can you do it against, like, a ogre or minotaur or something? Like, can you kill that person?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's
fantastic.
Right? Like, I don't know what the stats are on a death roll. I'm gonna look that up because, like, usually a secret weapon in Blood Bowl has a bunch of amazing statistics, and then the real downside is it's a secret weapon. So, like, you'll lose it most likely. But let's see what the death roller does. Dwarf death roller. Here we go.
Blood Bowl tactics. Yeah, everybody was like, remember, you should be hiding this weapon until the second half. And I'm like, everybody knows I have a death roller at this point.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to field it unless I think, like, unless you only have enough players to fill the field.
Right.
So I think that's the reason.
Are these stats going to be right for Blood Bowl 2?
They should be the same, but right now it's like this is about tactics for the death roller, which is not what we're looking for. So
I don't want that.
To the wiki!
Yeah, so it's got strength 7, armor value 10.
Damn.
Agility 1, obviously.
Player skills!
It's got break tackle, right?
God.
Which, if I recall correctly, break tackle lets you use your strength instead of your agility for getting out of tackle zones. It's got dirty player, which means, like, I think if you foul with it, there's an extra chance of injury. It's got juggernaut, I can't remember what it does. Mighty blow, which means extra chance of injury when you hit them. Stand firm, so it doesn't get knocked around all over the place. So, this thing, like, if this thing goes up against, say, your Minotaur, for instance, it's gonna fucking murder your Minotaur. Oh, it's gonna try to anyway.
Yeah.
But that's...
I really do. I get like one shot with it, basically.
So if you have shitty rolls, you better have a reroll.
Yeah.
So basically, in order to make this work, you need to have rerolls, but also bribes if you want to keep it on longer.
Yeah, which she doesn't have. That's the problem.
It's just like my Minotaur. It's like, yeah, this guy looks awesome, except 50% of the time he's like, I ain't even gonna move.
Yep.
Well, with the Minotaur, with the Minotaur, he only does like very specific things. Like if you ask him to block, like you'll only fail to do that on a 1. But if you want him to do something fancy, like move around, he'll be like, no, I don't feel like it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to just murder stuff with it.
Yeah. Yeah, but
that's the plan.
Like you may get the entire first half to kill people with the death roller, basically. Like, if they run the ball home early, then your death roller's gone. Right. So it's a case of don't fucking let them do that.
Right.
Oh god. That fucking game. Blood Bowl makes me so angry all the time. Like, it really does.
Even if I've had, like, a pretty good game for the first half, if in the second half I get dicked over, I'm like, fuck this game.
Fuck this game.
Like, it doesn't matter how well I did before. Once it starts sucking, I'm like, nope. Fucking hate this game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's the YouTube comments of video games. Where the one bad comment is all you focus on.
Everything.
You could have had a great first half, but the minute you lose a character, you're like, fuck it, worst game ever made.
Oh man, and it's the combination of that and while you're on stream or doing a YouTube video, like people like to backseat game it like they do Hearthstone.
That's why
the combination of those two things, like, fucking bastards.
So many people have asked me to live stream Blood Bowl, and I refuse. I outright refuse because I know every time I look at chat, I'm gonna get pissed off.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, there's no point. There's literally no point. I'm just not. I'm gonna play by myself, and maybe I won't get as good as I would have having people scream at me, but I'll enjoy myself a bit more, right?
I mean, I always feel like with backseat gaming or like Hearthstone or whatever, it's like, great, like what you're saying right now is right, but I'll never remember it, and this situation will probably never come up again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it does, it'll be against a different deck in like a slightly different board setup where the decisions might be different. It's like the only useful things to drill into yourself in those games are the basic principles. Like, don't ever throw like a 1-die block before a 2-die block. Throw your blocks with the guys that have block first because there's less chance of fucking up. Because it's about managing risk, that game. And Hearthstone's kind of like that as well, you know, where a lot of shit in Hearthstone's sort of random. So you're like, well, I want my mana bomber not to kill my entire line of people, so let's trade in some guys here first, reduce the chance of this happening, and then roll the dice at that point.
Right.
But when you're like stressing out and thinking of everything at the time, and you're also trying to stream, you never think about all those things. And then 45 seconds later, the chat's like, "You're an idiot." I'm like, I know, but
fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because no.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like I realize like people love to do that, and they get like a lot of fun value out of that sort of thing. Like it's
totally.
like backseat gaming is not malicious, like in the vast majority of circumstances.
No, and that's why sometimes like yesterday when I was so pissed about Jotun, there was an area because part of it's not Jotun isn't like Shadow of the Colossus where it's just boss battles. Like there's lots of weird puzzly things and mazes that you walk through and try to
snakes that pop out of ice that try to eat you.
Oh yeah, that happens too. And there was a shrine that I was looking for and I could not find it, and I spent like an hour trying to find this fucking thing, and I was getting so frustrated. And every time I looked at chat, it was just people like trying to help, like obviously trying to help, but because they were all yelling different things over and over and over again, I got so pissed off that I was like, I know you guys are trying to help, but you are ruining my life right now. Like so it just got rid of chat. Like I couldn't even look at it. I was just like, oh my god.
It's weird to think about how much that's sort of become Twitch culture, and it's like also one of the reasons a lot of people watch. I think it's still the reason why Hearthstone is so popular on Twitch even after like 2 fucking years, because people like the feeling of being in. Because people do this when they're watching sports as well, you know? Like you backseat quarterback, it's like, no, you fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. Totally. Like, you get a sense of satisfaction from that, and now you can do that with, like, 20,000 other people, and there's a chance, like, that coach will read it and get salty at what you said. Yeah. There's gotta, like, that's fun. Yeah. It is. Like, it's twisted, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Crendor and I were playing a game Sunday that a guy watching the stream was playing on the other team against us, and either he was super stream sniping or he was very, very good. Either way, he wrecked us, and it was painful. And it kept happening over and over and over again to the point where I was like, you know what? I just prefer it if you never watch my channel again. I was like, I don't like you. I don't want you involved in my life. I hope you go away. I was so mad.
So I do have a story about that quite recently. I've been streaming a lot of Starcraft 2 lately for some reason. I guess I just like want to be more miserable. But
right.
Of course.
So I started streaming that, and the problem is my beta account for Legacy of the Void has my real name, which was dumb as shit. Like I picked that because I was casting on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this will be fine. Then I started the ladder on it. Like, okay, this is dumb because people like know if I'm streaming or whatever. And I've had a few people who were obviously kind of ghosting the stream, and maybe like they weren't doing it with intent, but there was this one fucking guy that started replying to the things I was saying on the stream. So it was obvious that he was watching. So I'm like, right, okay. Like, I get really salty when people do that in that game because I suck at Starcraft. And I can't beat you even if you can't see what I'm doing. Right. I especially can't beat you if you can. So I'm like, right. When a lot of people are focusing on StarCraft, they're often, like, if they're going to stream snipe, they'll, like, listen to the stream instead of watching it. Because, like, they've got to focus on their own shit as well.
Right.
So I'm like, I start saying, we should build some Colossus now, then. And, like, of course, I'm not doing that at all. Yeah. So I start, like, trying to throw him off. And I actually end up beating the guy. Like, I beat him into the fucking floor. And then he starts floating his buildings to the corners. I'm like, right. So not only did you watched my stream and made it obvious that you were, then I beat your ass anyway, and now you're trying to prolong the game for no reason. Like, you are the worst. There is nobody worse than you in the world. Yeah. But it is damn satisfying to just destroy somebody who does that. It really is. It's the worst. It's the best.
I hate getting tweets that are like, it was so much fun beating you. Thanks for playing with me. I'm like,
fuck you.
I hate you. If you like me, you just let me win. Give me this. Just give me this.
Well, you know, I actually have some people doing that in Hearthstone. When they see my name, they'll insta-concede. Like, and I assume there's probably a couple of reasons for that. One, either they like me and they just want me to get the rank. Don't do that. That's not fun at all. Or secondly, they don't want to be in one of my videos. Right. Like, losing to me in Hearthstone has got to be pretty embarrassing, because I am fucking awful. So maybe that's why.
Right.
But it's weird because that's just an extension of what we're talking about, the idea that streams are very interactive in that way, and you can get on a stream if you're lucky enough. I'll admit, I've tried to snipe Hafu in arenas. Like, when I know she's been queuing up, I've tried to queue up, and I built a deck, and I've tried to.
Oh God, she would annihilate you.
Yeah, she really fucking would. She absolutely would.
Oh God, she would
kill you. What the fuck?
I mean, you wouldn't even have a chance.
Wow.
No, I probably.
Why would you do that to yourself? You're just so thoughtful. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a difference between sniping and ghosting. Like, a lot of people like to, and I get confused between the two as well. I use sniping interchangeably with ghosting, but sniping is to try and get into somebody's game and you know that they're queuing because they're on stream queuing. Right. Ghosting is where you actually fucking stream cheat, basically.
Right.
Where you're watching what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're actively saying that you're watching it, but you're definitely watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's awful. No. I don't think I really mind people sniping. Like, I think, like, look, if you're gonna try to do that, cool. It's not like we can solve these problems by putting a stream delay on. It's kind of our own fault if we get sniped or ghosted because we don't run a delay.
That's true.
But yeah, apparently, like, leaks, because any game with like a really long queue can be bad for that. Because like League streamers and Dota streamers have to watch out for that stuff all the time. Especially if people know, if you're like a much higher rank and you have a much narrower pool of players, it's actually a lot easier to snipe somebody and get in their game.
Right.
So that apparently happens between streamers all the time, and sometimes it's in a bit of fun, and sometimes it's fucking malicious.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because definitely sometimes people are trying to get into somebody's game who's streaming so that they on their own stream can be like, I just beat that guy.
Oh,
Come watch my stream because I just beat them. It's like, cool it. You need to cool it.
There's some fun stuff that we do in terms of like going into other people's streams and just fucking around in the chat. I was in Northern Lions chat yesterday, which is where I found out about that bomb game that we might talk about later, because that thing looks fucking awesome. But I jumped into his stream because he was playing Duck Game, and the salt from Duck Game is great. Like, I fucking love watching people play Duck Game because they get angry as shit doing it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. But we start like I started pasting my own emotes in there. I feel like Scumbag is just promoting his own emotes, so I kept doing it. It's just like, subscribe to me because I have better emotes than he does. And I found out
you pulled a Crendor.
Yeah, I pulled a Crendor at him, and he has a bot in there, Moobot. It's like, yeah, if you want to subscribe to Northern Lions, so I copied that and I made a copy paster out of it, and then just changed everything. It's like, if you want to unsubscribe to Northern Lions and save $4.99 a month, you know, if you want to be less of a fuckboy, you know, and all this stuff.
That's terrible. You're the worst.
I know. But it's so much fun!
It is fun.
Oh God, it is. It's the best. I dive into your chat from time to time just to fucking provoke you.
I see that. You come right when I'm at my most salty.
I do. I hear about it. I have spies in there. It's like, tell me when he's getting really mad so I can go and stick the knife in.
I don't know how you always do it, but you always manage to come to my streams when I'm in the middle of talking about anime, and you're like, are you talking about those Chinese
cartoons? And the worst thing about that is, like, I actually watch anime and I pretend that I don't, just to make it worse.
It's so good, and people will be like, TB, what are you doing here?
You know, the Chinese cartoons.
Those Chinese cartoons.
The stupid anime nonsense. So it's like, yeah, so I just binged on Parasite.
Those Chinese cartoons.
Yep, the sweet, sweet Chinese cartoons.
Sweet Chinese cartoons.
Hypocritical humor is the best humor.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely is. It's the fucking funniest, because some people will not understand that you know that you're a hypocrite. So like, no, you're a fucking hypocrite. Like, and then they'll list off all the times you've done this. Like, I have full knowledge of that. I am doing it just to wind you up.
Yep, it's good. I like that everybody's spamming your Weeb emote now.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yay!
That's the best.
I like combining your Weeb emote with my high bubble. It's fun. Because it's adorable. It's TV with little
I used his emotes to troll Northern Lions chat. Because I went like, my emote, my emote again, and just kept posting that.
I, for the longest time, didn't know where the I and again came from.
That's useful. Like, that is a useful emote to have.
It is.
I bought it for that reason.
I want another one where the stitches, the ridiculous, like, chibi stitches they have, I want that. And then I want a hand, and then I want little chains, and then a hook. so you can have it like across and
Oh my god!
Don't steal that, internet. That's what I want so badly. Danny, get on that.
Some people have some amazing emotes. I think is it Witwix that has the 4 pieces of the Blastoise or the Squirtle that he posts? And like,
yes,
that is great. I love that.
People come up with smart stuff to do with their emotes.
Hi.
Well, people will literally subscribe to you if you have good enough emotes.
Oh yeah.
That was the best thing that Twitch ever did when it came to subs, is say, oh, so you can collect them.
Yeah.
You can collect them, you can use them somewhere else. I'm like, that is genius.
I've literally thought before, like, this is terrible, but there are people that I've subscribed to, and I'm like, I don't really watch your streams.
The leprechaun's great.
those are cries, I think.
Hey, has a leprechaun.
Yeah, there are people where I'm like, I don't really watch your streams. I subbed because I wanted to support you, but I never use your emotes. Maybe I should unsubscribe. And I'm like, that's terrible because I still want to support you, but like, I never use your emotes, so maybe it's not worth it to me.
I think I'm subscribed to Draskill just because of his fucking dad puck emote. Like, do I have it here? Yeah, because all of his are like dad something. Yeah, it's the fucking best. Look at that thing. It's fucking awesome.
Cute.
And he's got like a dad clockwork one as well, and it's like a better version of Crendor's little skills emote.
Right.
Like a much better.
It's not better than Murky. It's not better than Murky.
It is a much better version of
Murky. Look at Murky.
It's a much better version of both Murky and everything Crendor has.
Cute.
So cute. He's like.
I barely tune into Draskill, honestly,
Put
but
my cats in there. Yeah.
No.
Woo. Sherlock Kitty.
This is so sad.
I know.
This is so sad. Is that a taco?
Feed our egos. Do it.
I
think it's a chicken biscuit. I think that one.
Oh,
People keep using that in my channel. There is actually a
biscuit.
chicken biscuit.
Put a chicken in a biscuit.
Yes, they're my sweet kids.
Oh god. The chat is now unusable.
Well,
We've ruined everything.
There's the cats. Now people are. Oh, now we got cats. We got cats. We got Skittles.
Yes.
This is
coming
madness.
together.
You're
It's
all
all
the worst.
Madness.
Maybe this would be a perfect time for our.
It might be, yeah.
Oh, are we gonna?
Someone just is spamming the Lyric cat now. So I refuse to subscribe to Lyric. He has enough money already. Fuck that guy.
He does have lots of.
I don't care if his cat is good. I don't care. Like, he's the top streamer on Twitch. Fuck that guy. He doesn't need my money.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck Lyric.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Really nice, Lyric. It was a pleasure meeting you.
I have nothing against him whatsoever.
You old southern prostitute. You French Quarter.
Wait, so does this mean I need to leave?
Yes, it does.
Oh, in order to make this happen.
We're gonna do the ad live.
Yeah,
boys and
so I may or
girls.
may not have written the script for the ad 7 minutes before we went live.
It's
so
gonna be real good.
We know what we're doing.
Okay.
If we don't have any more ads, it's because Squarespace dropped us as a sponsor as a result of what we're about to do.
Good, because I'm gonna try and read this
Yeah.
with my blind eyes.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
This is a live ad.
This is actually gonna be terrible, but
This will be great.
goodbye.
This will be perfect.
Yeah.
It's almost like Dodger left the room. Right now, sponsored by DX Racer and the America Chair. America Chair. You can't buy it anymore, suckers.
Oh man.
Dodger,
We're never gonna get any more business again.
Dodger's looking at me like, this is so weird.
Okay, we are now going to sell you on Squarespace, so we're going to do it live.
Great. I'm definitely not reading a script right now.
No, absolutely not. I definitely didn't write this 7 minutes before the show.
Good to know.
All those lines. Absolutely not. I wouldn't do anything like that.
Yes, of course you would not.
No. You know, and I'm half tempted to replace this with a proper ad in the VOD, so only these guys get to see this read, but I guess we'll find out.
Nope, this is going to be amazing.
Okay. All right, here we go then. Jesse, now, I don't want to get too personal here, but based on your various threats towards your co-workers on social media, I think you might be having some office management issues.
Oh, God, it just gets worse and worse. Before it was little eccentricities.
That's eccentricities.
Before it was little eccentricities.
You're not even trying!
Dodger's overprotective attitude towards her mug collection. Gerard's obsessive completionist nonsense. It's just getting worse and worse.
How so? Explain that.
Look, we're trying to be respected, professional organizations around here. But this office and these office mates, it's just not going to happen. People from real companies in the complex are getting a little suspicious.
No, it can't be that bad.
No, it definitely is.
Really?
This isn't even an office anymore. Dodger used to have a workspace. Now look at it. Look, this is where we're at right now. It is a shrine to Bulma. It is weird. There's piles of soundproofing on the floor. This is all true. If I move the camera, you would see it. This isn't even a script anymore. It's just a list of complaints. Computer parts? That's also true. Things you might actually want to use to make YouTube videos, they're here too. She's not doing any of it. She cares more about the figurines than anything else. Bulma figurines.
What's a Bulma?
Some cartoon. I think it's Chinese cartoons. Literally, this girl's a child. I need a respectable, hardworking office mate he's gonna make videos about video games and take the internet seriously, not drink coffee.
Well, I've got to ask you this. Have you considered Squarespace?
Squarespace is a real company, and they're not going to hire me.
No. See, the reason you can't get any sane people in your office is because you don't have a professional-looking website.
We have a website?
Well, yeah, but I think it's a Tumblr page that Crendor runs, and it's full of creepy fanfic, and...
How the hell did that happen?
How does anything with Crendor happen? It's a force of nature. Look, if you want to look like a real company, you're going to need a real website. So Squarespace will let you create a professional-looking website with no prior design or programming knowledge required. You can even get 10% off your first order at squarespace.com/cooptional.
So what you're saying is, if we look like a real company, we'll get real colleagues.
Absolutely. All you need to do is head to squarespace.com/cooptional. You'll be able to fool people into thinking you know what you're doing in no time at all.
Great. So can Squarespace help me get rid of my current tenants?
Afraid you're on your own on that one.
Oh. Well, you could say I have the key.
Hey guys, what's going on over here?
Oh, get out of here, you! Oh, a key joke! Oh!
Squarespace. Get 10% off your first order at squarespace.com/cooptional. Squarespace. Build it beautiful. This way. This way. We'll be right back. You guys are terrible at this.
Yeah! You can hit the high note. Oh my god, we're such giant nerds. I want to point out, you made a good game soundtrack when, 20 fucking years later, something like that?
The second that it started playing, Jesse just walked in doing this, and I was like,
bloody tears, man.
It's so good.
Best.
Yeah, everyone's like my ears, so I don't blame them.
Whatever, haters. Those mice. Oh my god. Speaking of mice, Boss Mouse, if you would be so kind.
What?
Boss Mouse.
Oh, hello, my name is Boss Mouse.
If you want to know what else
How
happened.
is the mic in the frame now? What the hell happened between now?
I think this got scooched up somehow.
Sure.
Still in the frame. I think your mic stand sort of drooped. I guess.
Sorry.
All right. First off, you have punched and kicked me so many times in my life that did not even faze me. Every time we're in a room together and something amazing happens, she punches me or kicks me or assaults me in some way, and I'm just like.
My best friend in middle school.
Whatever.
We used to watch anime together on the weekends sometimes.
And when crazy stuff would happen, I would just punch her in the leg, and she was like, "You need to start punching yourself because I'm not putting up with this anymore."
I'm used
so
to
excited.
It. If you go watch Contradiction, every time Dodger yells anything, there's an accompanying punch. It wasn't caught on tape, but just so you're aware, she punched me every time. Yes.
Contradiction was a very good series. You should go watch that.
I'm used to it. Yes, you should go. You should go pick that game up because it costs.
What the hell is that game about? I haven't watched any videos on it yet.
It's basically
it's really cool.
Old school FMV style mystery.
Okay.
And the whole point is you have to contradict what people say. So, if earlier in the game someone said man, I really enjoy Simon's Home Brew. That's a joke for the fans. Someone said I really enjoy Simon's Home Brew, and then later in the game they're like, but I don't drink alcohol. Then you can contradict them, and then
contradict them.
You can contradict them.
You can contradict them.
And it's and that's how you keep progressing through it. But you cannot contradict something someone else says with something a person you just met says.
Right.
So you have to catch a person in a lie. You can't say, well, this guy said this and this guy said this. You can't do that.
You specifically have to, because then they could just be like, well, that person's lying, right? You specifically have to be like, no, earlier you said this and now you're saying this.
Yes.
So it's interesting.
It's literally just kind of the court bit out of Phoenix Wright, by the sounds of it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going around looking for clues. The best part, though, is the acting is, like, phenomenal. It's so good. Our dear friend Emperor Palpatine.
Emperor Palpatine.
Paul is like a dude from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He was like on Doctor Who. The main character is basically like the best, the most entertaining person in the world. Like, he's so fun to watch. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, he's so good.
What can you tell me about Liam?
What do you know about this?
So is it actual FMV?
Yeah, it's straight up FMV.
It's all video.
It's just kind of weird because quite a few FMV games starting to come on. There's another one on Steam right now that's coming out soon called Press X to Not Die that I've heard a bit about. That is apparently like, hey, this is like an old school FMV game. There's a couple of others as well.
Yes.
Don't know why they've all showed up at once, but hey.
It's actually, this game, it might be costs, because Contradiction, I think total cost to make it was like £13,000.
I thought it was 3,000.
That's what they did for the Kickstarter to get it out.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was, it's like, it did not cost them a lot of money. They definitely didn't, like, I think the actors had some sort of like, this game needs to make money bit, and then we'll pay you, so go buy it if you're a fan.
Yeah, apparently all of the actors just make like a little bit off of every sale. They weren't just like paid to act.
Yeah, a lot of them I think did it as like frenzies. Like,
Yeah.
well, we're friends, let's do this.
That's an interesting comparison to how much they raised for the Tex Murphy Kickstarter. Like, how much was that? Let's find out. Because, like,
It was a lot, wasn't it?
yeah, I mean, the quality of their FMV was, like, compared to the older Tex Murphy games, it was obviously a shitload better, but you could still notice, like, how fucking expensive it must be to make a proper FMV game that's of a decent length.
598,000.
Yeah. I mean, did you play?
I did.
Tex Murphy when it came out. Yeah, I mean, they cut a lot of corners in that. Like, they pretty much spent.
But what they did that this game doesn't do. Oh my god, you're the worst.
It said Project Fedora, and there was a fedora on the ground.
But is that actually a fedora though?
No,
it counts.
That's like one of those.
Doesn't this count as a lady fedora?
I don't know.
That's like if you were an old-timey news reporter.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they wear
Lois Lane here, but like, whatever. No,
well, Tesla Effect was successful. I think they definitely made their money back.
Yeah, Tesla Effect, I think the difference is in that there was flying cars and like cutscenes and like the locales were.
They had to do a lot of CG work.
Yeah, and that's where all the money I think went to. In this, it's legitimately like it's interactive cutscenes. You're talking with people. It's all live. It's actors on sets.
Are they all in like the same location, or like how much set?
It's in a town. It's in a town, but
Okay.
but the sets are like James's house, and the only thing there is James staring into a fire the entire conversation.
James.
Paul's house, which is like an old creepy mansion. There's the Atlas Manor. There's one house where two characters are in, and then there's a bar. And the vast majority of it's just in this town and interacting with stuff you find in the town. But 90% of it is basically movie scenes.
Yeah, it's literally they wrote like a big comprehensive script and then
Filmed it
sat
all.
down. Yeah, sat down with each actor and said, "This is all of your lines." Recorded all of it.
Yeah.
And then then that actor was done. It's
interesting to see that come back, because obviously her story has been very successful, and now you've got that, which is apparently pretty good as well. And it's weird because you'd think it's a terrible way to do things, because indie games for the longest time have had a problem in terms of like getting good voice actors and things like that. Yeah. So the fact that you would then add real people in there, so not only do you have to be a good voice actor, you've actually got to act as a character. In theory, that should be a disaster. In theory.
It turned out great. Contradiction turned out fantastic. Like, I cannot say enough good things about that. Like, the characters are amazing. Like, every single one of them is an amazing character. I love them all.
Part of the reason they were amazing was because they just spawned so many goofs. Like, the longer we played, the more we were like, let's go talk to fucking Emma.
Yeah. but they all had their own weird quirks. Like, James would do nothing but grow drugs, make drugs, and stare into a fire, and just be like totally useless.
And yeah, pretty much every time we went to him, like, have you seen this before?
And
he'd be like, no.
You'd be like,
that was
no.
it. And then we'd have to leave, and we were like, okay, James, eventually you'll help.
Yeah, and then there's, like, the actors just are hilarious. Sometimes the best part is the vast majority of the actors are playing it straight.
Yeah.
So you can't tell if they're good, if they're evil, they're all right. The main character is the goofiest.
Goofy ass.
Oh, this is so funny.
So good.
Like he's like Liam who? Liam who died?
Yeah. Have you seen Liam?
Liam who?
Liam who died? It's so good.
That is piss poor acting compared to.
I know, it's so good.
We're
That
not
sounds
nearly as
wonderful
good.
in the cheesiest of ways.
Mm-hmm.
I need to not watch your videos and play it myself.
You
now.
should. You should.
You should.
I would say buy it and play it. Don't watch our... People already watched it. Don't bother watching it anymore. Go buy it. Because they said at the end of the game, they literally say, thanks for the support. We would love to make a sequel.
Yeah.
If we can afford
Yeah,
it.
if we can afford it. I was
Buy our
like,
game,
buy
please.
this effing game, please.
Yeah, please buy this game.
Yeah, get on that.
It's good.
That does sound like fun.
I don't know. I feel like there's something really charming about FMV games now. Like if you can make a good one, because it's not like the user interface of Contradiction was anything special.
Mm-hmm.
It literally came down to a fun aesthetic, a willingness to have, you know, a storyline and characters who were a little off the wall, just slightly, and good acting. It was really fun to play. So.
It had that feeling. It had that feeling of that old, like, early 90s era of video games.
Yeah.
Where they tried to cram in as many, like, actors and stuff. I remember, what was that, Wing Commander? Even though some of that was horribly acted.
Yeah.
But Wing Commander actually tried, like, yeah, no, this entire game we're going to have Mark Hamill be in it and stuff. Yeah. It's like, that's awesome. I remember those days, and I loved that stuff.
Yeah.
So, it still speaks to me. I think those are great games.
I still think we should make a murder mystery in this office.
And we could do it in the exact same way that they made their game.
Way, yeah.
It'd be great.
We just need a writer.
Nope. We're going to ad-lib everything.
Oh, God.
I mean, it was 12 hours into the game. It's going to be a 40-hour game, by the way.
No.
12 hours into the game.
No, Jared Rosen would totally do it. Like, Jared, we need you to write a terrible
But by the end of it, it'd be like, my dark god Cthulhu commanded me. We all know how Jared writes.
That's true, that's
As
true.
I stared into the void of darkness, and the tears of sorrow streamed down my face, Cthulhu spoke to me.
Oh, God.
In the words of that also was a little Klingon, I think.
No,
I was gonna say.
I'll never forgive him for what they did to my son.
You
oh my God, it's actually
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's happening in the same universe as Star Trek.
Yep.
What a great game we just made.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
I mean,
fights Cthulhu.
You could get away with it with Star Trek right now because the actual Star Trek timelines and continuity have gone completely off the rails in a huge way as a result of the main continuity is continued only through the MMO.
Right.
And the alternate continuity, which is the Abrams like film stuff, is meaningless to anything that's now happening.
Right.
And then there's all of the expanded universe shit.
Alternate universe.
Yeah, and they're getting away with most of it like that. And now there's a game coming out called Star Trek Timelines for mobile, where they literally took advantage of this and said, you know what, the continuity is fucked. Let's have them all.
Yep.
So they mashed them all together, and it's like, there's a temporal anomaly. We're gonna mash everything together.
Yes.
Fucking Kirk in his old Enterprise comes out. Gets immediately blown up by a Romulan warbird from like the 24th century. Gets fucking wrecked.
Well, they're all dead.
Yeah, like his entire crew gets murdered. He and Spock teleport over, so he transport over to like the other.
Oh, man, everybody died. Great.
But the thing is, like, now,
story.
but everyone can now come back to life. So the whole point of that game seems to be to collect different versions of the same person.
All lady crew. All lady
Yeah,
versions.
you can have an entire crew, I think, of like nothing but Janeways. There's like 10 Janeways. One of them is like coffee addicted Janeway. It's like the name of it, and she has a coffee related ability. And
What?
They've got the versions from the holodeck. There's a version of Janeway where she's dressed up as like a 1920s sci-fi supervillain, and you can collect her, and you can crew your ship with all these different alternate reality versions of people.
Nope.
It's
Nope.
I just want Lady Spock.
I
There's gotta be an
Oh,
alternate
right.
universe.
You mean the one from
where they're
Enterprise?
dead.
The one from Enterprise who, in the first episode, like, is like,
That's not actual Lady
let's
Spock.
get naked for reasons.
to Paul or whatever her name is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get naked.
Let us.
That's all. That's also.
They
That's also.
pull that shit like all the time with Star Trek. They did the same thing with 7 of 9. It's like,
Yes.
I don't understand any human mating procedures. We should try one.
We should definitely have sex right now. I
what's
imagine
funny?
Gene Roddenberry would be like, "What the fuck are you doing in that franchise?" I am a Borg. Let's have sex.
Data always handled that shit way better.
That was...
I am fully
functional. Wasn't that like 3 episodes in they pulled that shit with with Tasha Yar? Yeah.
Tasha Yar,
and then later on they had one of my favorite episodes to this day because it's the episode where Data goes on a date. And where people fall through the like Enterprise, like melt into the walls.
Oh, that
it's
one.
Such a weird B story. Like A story, Data's going on dates. B story, people are melting into the walls. Like, all right, fuck it.
I love it. Oh god.
Oh, Star Trek, you are wonderful.
It's kind of ridiculous.
All of Next Generation on Netflix now?
Yes.
Yeah. It's I bought the Blu-rays. They have improved a lot of shit in them. Like they redid so many of the effects and made them look a lot better. Yeah, I'm not talking about like Lucas style.
I was gonna say,
fuck with everything.
are we talking like Star Wars style?
No. They do a much better job of it. It's really cleaned up and it looks great now and the sound's all crisp and everything. Yeah, it's. I don't know if that's the version that's on Netflix, but if it is, you should absolutely watch that.
I have the first season of Next Generation on DVD, and I watched through all of that. But I wonder, I'm sure the DVDs are
They're pre all
effects change.
I forgot
they did all Blu-rays.
I forgot the Deep Space Nine episode where they talked about how Odo has sex. Oh, there's so many.
Oh my god, Deep Space Nine was so great too. Guys, let's just go watch Star Trek.
Yeah, all right, we're done.
DS9 is maybe one of the only one that holds up still.
Yeah.
Like the rest of them don't. Like the work in Voyager doesn't hold up. TNG's original really doesn't hold up in terms of effects, but it holds if you watch the Blu-ray, it's okay.
Like the further you get into the Next Generation, the better it holds up. But like the beginning of Next Generation feels so jankball.
It does. Everyone's costumes are terrible. That's the main problem.
It's awful.
Until they got a little bit more sensible with it.
Oh man, I love Q.
Q is the driver behind the timelines thing. That's the best thing about Star Trek is you can literally excuse anything with the reason Q.
Q did everything.
Do you think a DVD or Blu-ray set exists that's called like Star Trek the Q episodes?
Probably.
I can just watch the Q episodes.
Yeah.
The Q collection? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Remember when he brought a mariachi band on the bridge?
Yes.
Oh, Q, why are you so good?
Q was just this great force. You would just like show up randomly and everybody was like, fuck, go away.
Alright, so if you like Q, they made a video game that was based around Q called Star Trek Borg. It was an FMV game, as it turns out.
Yes.
If you can actually get a copy of that and get it to run, that's a good Let's Play fodder because it lets you die in like 50 different ways, and Q takes the piss out of you every time you do it. And the whole plot is the Borg are fucking everybody. So, I am Q and I'm bored, so I am going to randomly save your life and send you back to like on the ship that your dad was on, and you're gonna have to try and save the day. But Q is constantly there, and it's all recorded with him. There's like 45 minutes of just Q talking in that game. And you could probably beat that game in about 45 minutes easily, like just blitz through it.
We have to find it.
You need to find that. We need to find
Borg
immediately. Do you think it would
to
work?
eBay! Probably.
Yeah, I've watched the whole thing on YouTube, but I think like it would be a pretty funny Let's Play if you could actually get it running again. It's old shit. It's from the 90s, but if you can get that game running, then yeah, Star Trek Borg is fucking hilarious. Like, it's got some really good, genuinely good Q moments in it. And what's the other thing that I liked about Q? Yeah, there was that one episode where like a Q's son or adopted son was fucking around, and that one line where it's like, if I've told you once, I told you 1,000 times, don't provoke the Borg. And it's like, you can act anything. I don't care how badly your writing is. You can make it work.
Didn't Voyager have like blonde Q? There was like another Q, and I hated
Voyager
that
had a Q continuum that had a bunch of different Qs.
Hated the other Qs. They were dicks.
They had a literal Q civil war where they fought with fucking muskets for no reason.
Yes, yeah, they booted him from the
continuum.
Yeah, they booted him from them. In one episode, he's like, "Oh, I guess I'll just be immortal." I was like, "Oh no, Q! Oh no,
Q, no!"
I'd hang it. I'd be his friend for every one of his whims. I'd let him do whatever. I'd be like, dude, whatever. Let's have fun. Let's get some mariachi and chicks in here.
They use him for some, like, Star Trek Online uses him for excuses for all their dumb events. Like, we want to do a Christmas event, but we can't justify that in the serious Star Trek universe. So an 8-foot-tall Q shows up floating in the middle of the hub area, and it's like, I want to have you have snowball fights. So you do this, and if you hand in enough tokens, I'll give you a present.
Oh my god, yes.
They either do it with
so
that
it's like
or
all the holiday
Ferengi.
events?
Yeah, all the holiday events are cute. Yeah.
That's great.
Or the Ferengi. Like, they can make excuses with that. It's like, hey, come to Ryza and literally do jet skiing for no reason. Because we are Ferengi. We can do that. It's wonderful.
God, Star Trek is so great.
It was.
It still exists.
Yeah, but I mean,
you can still experience
there was a golden age of Star Trek games.
There was.
Absolutely. There was. And, like, they were almost all great. Like, fucking Elite Force and Armada and Starfleet Command and Bridge Commander, and they were all fucking great. And lately, they've all been just awful, awful things. Did you play the co-op Star Trek game based on the new universe that they released around the movie?
Watched other
I've
people
seen
play
it. Yeah.
Shit, it
looks
a
awful.
disaster area.
So good.
Oh man,
game.
now I want to go watch fucking First Contact again. I love that movie.
Oh, First Contact is
The line
I
must be
love
drawn
that
here. This far and no further. Which is what they should have said with video games.
You broke your little ships. I love that movie. It's so good.
It is great. It is.
And it's also a movie featuring Data getting laid again.
It is, yeah.
Every time that Data gets laid, you know a good episode and or movie is about to happen.
Those are the best next generation storylines.
Yeah. Even a robot can find love.
It's true.
So there's hope for you.
Or sex. I mean, whatever.
Indeed.
Whatever. Love,
Whichever.
sex. Whatever.
I'm just getting depressed now because like I those games were so good. Like, why can't we have a new Elite Force game? You know, that was amazing. That was you could in the first level of that you could choose. I think after you'd done the first level, you could wander around Voyager and gun down the characters you hated the most. Like, it was brilliant. It's like fucking Neelix, you're getting a fucking compression rifle through your face, and watch Neelix melt away. It was over and over again. It was brilliant.
The Voyager rail cabinet game is one of my favorite rail games ever.
I don't think I've ever played that one.
Really?
I need to.
Oh, I love it.
I almost bought a $7,000 cabinet of that on eBay.
Shit. Of what?
Of the Voyager rail game. It's a rail shooter, like
is that
Star
the
Trek
one
rail
that has
shooter.
the like really poorly animated CG aliens?
I would imagine so.
God. Oh.
It's the one where you're being attacked by the Borg.
Is it?
Yeah. The Voyager one? Yeah.
Okay.
I think
It's got, like, normally the side of the cabinet has, like, 7 of 9. Just like, what up?
That's all of Star Trek Voyager.
I know.
Like, Jerry Ryan, we're gonna bring you on because we need to sex it up a bit.
That was literally the reason. Like, the ratings are dying. We need a sexy fucking Borg in a skin-tight lycra suit.
It super
Dude,
worked.
It was great.
It worked.
I wanted to be 7 of 9 so bad. Every time I watched Voyager, I was like, I love you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what else have you been playing this week?
What have you been playing? You haven't talked about anything you've played.
Yeah, no, I've mostly been trying to avoid it. I played a little bit of Undertale. I'm not that far into it yet, and I'm probably going to try and delete all my data and start again. I'm going to figure it out, because the game knows now. The game knows that I fucked up.
You hecked up! TV, you hecked up!
It knows, and I'm not okay with it knowing. And
Isn't that a weird feeling? Like,
yeah.
There's nothing I can do except delete every file associated with this game in order to, like, wipe this
because I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. Like, you can still get all of the endings even if you fucked up in some way, but the game knows that you screwed up and keeps reminding you of that even if it has no actual in-game effect, and that fucking drives me insane.
I loved that though. I loved that feeling of just, I can't take this back.
Yep.
I did that.
Flowey
thing.
is always watching you. Flowey knows. He knows.
I like Flowey.
I'm not okay with Flowey
He's
knowing.
the best character in that game.
I like Flowey too.
His judgments.
As somebody who has beaten that game, I also
Slowbeef
like
took the piss out of me for it.
His judgments are great.
I'm pretty sure, like, on the show when we had Slowbeef on talking about Undertale, he was like, one of you is going to do that. Like, one of you is going to get so pissed off that the game knows you're going to dig into the registry files and fucking destroy everything so you can have a clean start.
Right.
I mean, I did a horrible thing within the first hour.
You know what I would love? Oh my god, TB, how much would it freak you out if you deleted everything, re-downloaded the game, and it was like, oh, we know.
We know you did that.
We know what you did. And you're like, no!
The thing is, I think I can get away with it because I'm pretty sure it doesn't do Steam Cloud, so I only have it on my laptop right now. So I can install it on my main PC and it won't know. I hope it doesn't know.
I desperately want a game one day to like try to fake that your computer's been taken over by the game?
It's been done a couple of times.
And so Flowey shows up, like you delete everything, and he's like, bitch.
I mean,
that'd be great.
As you
there
get
is a bit
further into the game, it does stuff like that. Yeah.
There's
it gets more and more. It does more and more, like we were talking about last time we did the podcast. It does more and more things where it's like, this is definitely a program on your computer, and it's starting to make you feel like you are not in control of that, and it's a weird feeling. It's really cool.
Shit on you, yeah. It's there was one other game that was really they didn't really take control of your computer, but they used what was on your computer. It was called Virus. It was, I think it was like a shooter kind of strategy game, and it took all the files on your computer, and it was literally attacking and deleting the files that it, like... Obviously, it wasn't actually doing that, but it was, like, you would see, like, your folders and everything, and you would have to, like, battle elements of programs and documents that you already had on your computer and shit like that. I thought that was a really cool idea. It wasn't all that well done, but it was a really interesting idea nonetheless.
What's that new game by, the people who made Stanley Parable?
The Beginner's Guide.
Have you touched that? I haven't
not yet.
touched it yet.
So, I should eventually have a look at it. Like, it literally goes out of its way to say in the description, look, there's no, like, this game has no mechanics. Like, it has no gameplay.
Yeah.
And I think, like, to a very, very limited degree, Stanley Parable did. Like, you know, it had the idea of that you can fall to your death in this game, or, you know, that you can press this button. Like, it seems to me like, and I haven't touched it yet, so I may be completely wrong, that Beginner's Guide has none of that. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are very hyped about it. So I don't know. Like, I would feel bad if I disliked it, because I fucking loved the Stanley Parable, and people are saying, "Oh, Beginner's Guide is amazing," but I have a feeling I'm gonna hate it.
It sounds like Beginner's Guide is intended. It's one of those games where it's like, this isn't intended to necessarily be a game. It's intended to be an experience. You know.
But technically, that's Stanley Parable as well, though, isn't it?
Right. But I'm saying, like, by making that distinction, they're kind of telling you ahead of time, like, don't compare us to a game.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's not what we're going for. We're experimenting, kind of.
Yeah, and I'm okay. I like it when they say that right off the bat, because, like, the biggest problem that I keep having with fucking Dear Esther is when it was pushed as being something that it wasn't when it came out years ago, and that pissed me off. And I think, like, now, if they're gonna make some weird kind of, you know, we'll use the term walking simulator or whatever, they're more honest about that, and I'm okay with that. It's what gets me is the insistence of, like, you know, no, we're a game. It's like, well, you got no gameplay, you know, you don't have any mechanics or anything. It's like, no, we're a game. Do you need to be a game? Like, is that a badge of honor for you as a developer? Like, can you not just be an interactive experience or whatever? Is that not okay?
Right.
Because I think we'd be in a much, much better position if some of these titles literally just said, look, we're not trying to be a game. We're trying to be a sort of interactive experience that you can move through and experience what's going to happen. Just don't expect it to be a game.
I think we've become more accepting of that as an idea, though, too.
Yeah.
Since games like Dear Esther have come out, I think we've had that conversation come up enough that it's like, yeah, I'm totally down for people to be making interactive experiences.
Sure,
yeah.
As long as they say that that's what it is.
As long as they're not, trying to convince me that it's a game, that they're, they're like, this is an experiment, we want you to experience it, enjoy, or don't enjoy, whatever we intend, you know?
Yeah,
so,
because, I mean, some people got salty about, like, Gone Home as well, because I think that they got the impression it was a horror game before they played it, and that ended up not being.
Really? You thought it was a horror game?
No, that's how they promoted it.
The early marketing for it gave... Because it was they didn't reveal a lot, but they gave the impression it was a horror game.
I never got that.
They gave the impression that it was like a mystery, like a some sort of horror mystery experience. Yeah, suspense is a good word. And there was none of that at all. And yeah, it was, I don't know. I thought it was a slap in the face game. Still not a fan of that game.
Yeah, some people are like that with Gone Home. I think it's better now because everyone really knows what it is. So you go in knowing full well what you're getting into.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right that things have improved a lot lately in the way that people label their games. They don't try and make them out to be things that they're not. Mm-hmm. So that's fine. I'll have a look at Beginner's Guide. I might just end up getting sick of it. But this is like an hour and a half.
It's short, yeah.
So was Dear Esther, but it was one of the worst hours and a half of my life.
Damn.
I'd go back into fucking surgery rather than play that game again.
Wow.
I really would.
Stuff.
You know.
That's saying a lot.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
I look forward more to a colonoscopy than playing Dear Esther again.
I'm gonna be honest. I'd play Dear Esther.
Me too.
I'd play Dear Esther.
I would much rather play Dear Esther than go to surgery.
I would rather play Dear Esther.
It's so fucking tedious.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's awful. Hopefully Beginner's Guide is not like that.
Yeah.
But knowing me with Beginner's Guide, I'm going to miss everything, all the clever things about it. It's like, oh, this game is so smart. I'll blitz through it, and then when I actually come to talk about it, people will be like, no, you're a dumbass, you just don't get it. I'm like,
you missed all of these cool things.
Yeah, I probably will.
I don't know. I feel like if it's supposed to be, I don't know. If you're trying to create an experience for somebody and you have to be like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know.
What, you didn't even get out a sentence.
Like the fact that pretty much everybody that I know who has touched Beginner's Guide has said, I got something positive out of that game.
That's good.
I think means that you don't have to be like trying to pay super close attention and like gather information, right? You just have to be there and be present.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
you know
so like, you know, school. No,
nothing like school.
It's exactly
you have to write shit down.
It's exactly like school. You don't have to get something out of it, just be there. That's my tip for every kid out there. Just fucking go. You don't have to get something out of it, just be present every day.
Chat's claiming it's just impossible to miss anything in Beginner's Guide. It's like, well, okay, we'll see. I'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's an hour and a half.
Right.
Sure, why not?
Right.
Those are those weird games where it's very hard to make an actual video of it. It's like, yeah, okay, I want to talk about it without spoiling anything. Well, shit, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of how I felt at first. That's kind of how I felt about Undertale. But enough information had come out about Undertale that most people
they knew bits and pieces
knew
about
kind
it.
of, yeah, like the major elements of the game that when I played Undertale for the first time, I knew nothing about it, and I thought that was the best way to go into it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the best way to sell the game to somebody was to sort of spoil that, right? To be like, here are these cool mechanics that are part of the game. That
and that's the reason I'm playing it, is because I knew about that. Yeah. And I don't feel that the game is lessened by knowing those things. I've still avoided major plot points, and I've managed to stumble across things in the game where they've anticipated that I'll try and do what the game is telling me not to do. So, and I dig it whenever a game does that. And apparently there's a lot more of that as well. I was looking through, I decided to look at a guide for the first area after I'd beaten it. And I'm like, wow, all of this stuff. And there's literally a guide of like how to get the game breaking bits.
Right.
Like how to do things the game claims you shouldn't be able to do, and then have the game react to that. And it's like, that's so cool that you thought of all of those things.
Super cool, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so like the game's it's not bad. Like I like the battle mechanics. They're pretty fun and unique. I like the fact that each enemy has like different attack patterns and all that sort of thing. I like figuring out what the best way to convince an enemy not to fight me is. That's enjoyable. The game can get a little tedious in places. So far, the puzzles are okay. I don't know if I'm probably going to run into a position where
it doesn't continue to be super puzzle heavy at all. Like
that's kind of good.
Yeah, that's almost like an idea. It's weird. That's one of those sort of game deconstructing aspects of the game where it's like, this game's going to be all about puzzles, right? And then they slowly just sort of drop that as a concept, but in a way that's really clever, where you're like, I see what you're doing, game.
Cool.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm not blown away by it the same way that other people are, but it's definitely got a lot of new stuff in it, which I dig.
Yeah.
It's nice not to be playing the same game for the 1,000th time.
Right.
People are like, have you played Transformers yet? I haven't. Look, this is how Activision works when it comes to review codes, right? Every time with them, they send us review codes like, oh, here's our embargo information. I'm like, okay, the embargo was yesterday, and you sent me the game an hour before it came out. So none of this is relevant. Yay. You know it's not relevant. I mean, thanks, I guess, for letting me download it before it comes out, but, you know, this is... it's so damn annoying. They do it constantly. Right. So I haven't played it yet. I'm told so far, by the looks of it, a lot of people are really liking it. I mean, it is a Platinum game. Platinum generally don't fuck up. You know, the Legend of Korra game was the worst thing that they did. and even that was serviceable. And this apparently is quite good.
You know why it's quite good? Because it has nothing to fucking do with the movies. It's all the old school stuff, which is great.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it looks like the cartoon, like the old school cartoon.
It does, yeah. It's all old stuff. I mean, to be honest, like, the Transformers games recently outside of Darkspark have been pretty good. Like, Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron were both good games.
I gave up on Transformers games.
Why? When?
I don't know, like...
Transmographagisers?
Is it the Transmographagisers?
You mean the Transmographagisers?
I'm trying to remember which one it was, like, 3 years ago. There was one that I played, and I was like, this isn't really my jam. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
It's going to be either War or Fall for Cybertron, and both those were really good.
I don't know.
Unless you
try this most recent one.
Yeah, unless you played Rise of the Darkspark. If you did, I understand why you think they're shit.
Rise of the Darkspark.
Because that was shitty. But Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron are both really good, like, third-person shooters. Great voice acting, good story. You get to play a bunch of different Transformers. They're pretty great.
Right.
Honestly. I like them a lot.
Alright, okay.
Give it a try. At least play Fall of Cybertron. That was fucking awesome.
I remember you talking at length about that game.
Oh god. It's very cool in many places. There's a lot of good stuff going on there.
In many places.
It's got a lot of stuff going on in many places.
Transmographagisers.
Transmographagisers.
I love that video.
One could say that game is more than meets the eye.
Oreobot. Let us never forget. God damn. That might be one of my favorite videos on the internet.
I finally watched Potion Seller.
Oh my god, we made so many.
I love Potion Seller. I love that fucking video.
It's pretty good. I'll give you credit. It's pretty good. I only watched it because you posted that goddamn GIF of like. Because I was confused as to what the hell this thing was. You posted that GIF like, so it's a video game reference, and I like started googling it and like,
nope,
no.
It's inspired so much though.
It's the exact opposite of that.
Oh my god, it's so good.
The main problem is he laughs too much in the video.
Yes, he breaks
too much in the video.
No, I love that. I love watching him just be like.
Even this is ridiculous. Yeah, even he's like, this is so silly. Why am I doing this? I like that he but even though he knows it's stupid, he then takes it up a notch and has them arguing like, it could kill a dragon, Gloria. He's like, Potion Seller, you scoundrel. It's so
I require your strongest potions.
You can't handle my strongest potions.
You need the weaker potions.
I'm going into battle, and I need my potions. It's like
potions.
It's so funny, and I don't know why it cracks me up so. Like, it's just a dude messing around with a webcam.
Yes,
there's nothing to it.
All of his videos is that, and the Potion Seller one is just this gem in this world of like shit videos, and I love it so good. Much.
I can't even. The fact that it has spawned numerous fan art, like there's some guy made an entire video series of that character in oh my god, not Skyrim, Morrowind, I think? It's so effing funny. Like I can't even tell you how much I enjoy that. And so now every time I just sit around and just like, Potion Seller. It's great.
I'm going into battle. I need your strongest
potions.
I like how he goes in and gets his giant eyes. It's great.
Oh
Potion Seller.
It is pretty funny.
So good.
Yeah, it's the one. Maybe the one time you've linked something that I've actually agreed with you on. It's funny. The rest of the stuff you link is dumb.
I will say that the next thing I'll probably link after this because it's on my mind now is the Oral Knots did a video about 10 improvements to make the Transformers franchise, and let's just say one of them is to add the John Cena theme to every explosion. And it is hilarious. Because just his exploding I'm gonna do it with an explosion. It's amazing.
Oh,
and that's when they introduced Oreobot.
Let us
never forget Oreobot. It's great.
It's good. It's good shit.
Well, I'll probably like that.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been playing this week that's been any good. I haven't really had a huge amount of time. I've mostly been playing Starcraft. Like, it started to devour my life again.
It's so funny because I feel like you have this horrible love-hate relationship with Starcraft.
I do.
Where you're like,
really
God,
do.
I hate this game. It's the worst. But then if you allow yourself to get deep enough in it, you're like, I can't stop
when it's the best, it's the best, but it's so often the worst.
Yeah.
It's a similar problem to like Dota and LoL and shit like that. Like people feel that way about those games, but the thing you have to understand about Starcraft Ladder is that in Dota and LoL, you get to blame other people for what you did. Like you get to blame your team, you get to blame something other than you. In Starcraft, you have nobody to blame but you, and it's awful.
Yeah.
It feels awful. I've been streaming a bit, and I've deleted half the VODs, right?
God.
Because I've fallen into such a... I mean, I played an entire game without speaking once because I was so mad about the previous game. And
I've been there.
I'm pretty sure like, at the end of the stream, I'm like, fuck this game. Fuck it. Fuck it. It's the worst. I will never be any good at this. It's so unbelievably stressful. Yes, it is the best of games, it is the worst of games.
Yeah, when you hit that point where you're like, I can't even speak, because if I speak, all that's going to come out is salt.
Swearing.
Yeah, just salt and anger. Like, I'm just going to play this silently.
What are you talking about? What are you referring to?
And people think like Hearthstone's is bad. It's not. In Hearthstone, you blame RNG, you blame top deck, you blame stupid bullshit luck. With StarCraft 2, you can't blame stupid bullshit luck because there is no stupid bullshit luck to blame.
Oh, totally. Well, that's like when I was playing Dark Souls on stream and Jotun. Like, I just hit this point, this wall, where I'm like, the only person I can blame is me right now, and that pisses me off so badly that I can't, like, if I say anything, it's just gonna sound like the sourest bullshit I've ever said in the world. So I just need to not talk.
You know, I think that's half the reason why some games do have a random element, because I think it acts as sort of a heat sink for rage. Like, if you rage at Bloodbowl or you rage at Hearthstone, you rage because of the randomness, and you're not blaming yourself for any of it. Like, by the end of the game, you're salty, but you're salty for reasons that don't involve you loathing your very being.
Yeah.
And
being like, why am I such garbage?
and the thing about thinking like you're such garbage is you're less likely to keep playing the game. And that's actually, I think, one of StarCraft's biggest problems, is that it makes you feel like such utter human trash.
It's true.
When you ladder and when you lose. So ladder anxiety with StarCraft 2 is a real thing. That's the thing that people talk about all the time. It's like, I won't click that Q button because I'm too anxious. Because ladder is the most stressful thing in the universe. I've never had that problem with Hearthstone, because I'm like, oh, I lost that game because of RNG bullshit. Whatever, I might get lucky next time. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, let's go. Or I have a shitty team in Dota, well, maybe I won't have a shitty team next time. But with StarCraft, it's like, I'm still going to be stuck with shitty old me.
Yeah.
This is awful.
There's no one here but me.
I really do.
That's why I don't play multiplayer in StarCraft.
I really do think that's why some games include that random element. I think that's actually why Hearthstone is continuing to do it. So over the last couple of months, there's like the player base, at least the vocal community player base, has been splitting sort of into two factions. Those who are like, we want RNG bullshit, and those who are like, we want to minimize RNG bullshit. Because RNG bullshit is, of course, fucking over the competitive scene in that game in a big way. Mm-hmm. Like, there are people who've lost tournaments solely based on RNG bullshit. And I'm not just talking like, oh, he top decked the perfect card. I'm like, no, this card he played did something so unbelievably unlikely yet completely game-changing that it actually decided the tournament.
Right.
And there are cards that do that. Like a good example is the piloted shredder. So 4-drop, 4/3. When you kill it, it spawns a random 2-drop minion. One of the 2-drop minions is the Doomsayer, which is a 0/7, end of the turn, kill everything on the board.
Right.
Now, usually, if you play the Doomsayer, that you have the other guy has a turn to react to it. Yeah. So it's only useful in certain decks, like decks that can freeze everything and lock everything down. The problem is, when it pops out of the fucking shredder at random, it can it changes the entire landscape of the game, and it can randomly happen.
Right.
There's times when it spawned like a fucking wild pyromancer, and then the boards exploded, and all sorts of other things like that. And those moments are hilarious, and then simultaneously the most fucking frustrating things, because like this was literally a 0.2% chance of happening, but it happened, and it decided the game.
Right.
And there are people who are like, this is too high variance. This is ridiculous. And then there are people like, no, this is what makes the game fun, because even if this guy's really, really good, he could still get fucked over by something. So I have a shot. Right. You know, you feel like you have a chance. So that's the issue Hearthstone's currently running into. I think, as a result of that. All these crazy cards that can decide the whole game from randomness or do fuck all. Mm-hmm. I kind of side with the RNG guys, because I really think that is not a competitive game. It's a boring competitive game.
Yeah.
Right.
And when people play it super seriously, it's not fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I watch someone streaming and some weird shit happens and everyone's in the chat going, holy shit, that's awesome. That experience is amazing. So I'm kind of on the RNG side. I'm like, look, don't treat Hearthstone as a serious competitive game. It's not. It never has been. It was built from the ground up to not be.
Right. But I mean, the esports scene for it is there, though.
That's the problem.
Well, yeah, and that's where the complaints are coming from.
I know. I'm just saying, where there's an audience for an esport, the esport will exist.
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah, and that's all that determines whether or not an esport is an esport. It's whether or not people willing to watch people play it for money.
Yeah,
that's all there is. That really is all there is. There are plenty of games that could easily be esports, but since nobody fucking watches them, they won't be.
Yeah,
it's I compare it to Smash Brawl. Like Smash Brothers Brawl, you know, the game that never took off as a competitive game.
Right.
Why? Because they put mechanics in it to fuck with competitive play. Like, I think tripping is one. I admit I've not played much of it, but that game was never balanced to be competitive. So as a result, it never really grew a competitive scene. And eventually, along comes Project M that made it kind of competitive, but was never really official. Mm-hmm. And that affected the development of Smash 4, because everyone just played Melee because Brawl was shit competitively. And then some people are still playing 4 because 4's a bit better for that. Still not maybe perfect, a bit slower, but now those two things can kind of coexist. Mm-hmm. But with Hearthstone, the problem is, since it's a digital game, there's pushing from people to say, no, you've got to change the way Hearthstone's designed, because you're fucking with the competitive scene every time you release an RNG bullshit card.
Yep.
And yet some of us continue to play because of RNG bullshit cards.
Right, yeah. Because they make the game...
I mean, they had a whole expansion that was...
RNG bullshit. Literally, that's all it was,
There's still RNG bullshit. You know, in the latest expansion had plenty of that. But
the hero power.
Yeah, well, there's a thing called Joust in that, which means that when you play a card that jousts, you each draw a card from your deck, and whoever has if you as the jouster have a higher cost card, then you gain the jousting benefit. If you don't, then you don't. Now there are some cards that are really powerful jousting cards, and then there are others that are like whatever. Like, there's a 1-drop which can gain +1/+1 and become a 2/3 creature if you joust correctly. But that has not changed the entire fucking landscape of the game.
Right.
But there are some cards which really do. Effigy is a great example of that. When something dies on your side of the board, it's a secret, and it will trigger and spawn another minion of the same cost as the thing that just died. There's a video that came out this week on Trollden's channel, the Hearthstone guy, you know, the guy that does the funny plays and shit, where I think it's Brian Kibler. He gets an Aviana, and Aviana means that every creature you play now costs 1.
What?
So he plays like double Malagos, plays his Ronin, kills his own Ronin to get 3 arcane missiles, and these arcane missiles now hit for 13 each. Like, they're supposed to fire 3. They now fire 13.
Christ.
Like, this crazy fucking situation that can happen because of those RNG cards.
Right.
But simultaneously, that's also the best thing in the fucking universe to me.
Yeah. Like, that's the sort of thing that people are going to be like, holy shit, did you see that just amazing merging of circumstances?
Yeah, and
know?
that might happen to me. That's why people can play Hearthstone. That's why the RNG stuff keeps people playing it. And whereas Starcraft, because there is no RNG, you blame yourself, you hate yourself, you stop laddering. I think, like, Hearthstone's design is directly influenced by what they learned from Starcraft 2 ladder. Mm-hmm. Which is weird, but there you go. People are desperately asking for a break, because, like,
do you have to pee?
Do we need to pee?
Do you have to pee?
Oh, are you guys trying to pee right now?
Do you imagine the flowing of water? The tranquil flowing of water?
Yes.
Don't
the waterfalls right next
waterfalls.
I mean, are you aware of the flooding in South Carolina as a result of the hurricane? There's so much water everywhere.
Is your bathroom going to flood with
water?
pee?
Water everywhere.
With pee?
It's flowing, and there's nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can do.
Wait, so, like, there's a pee goblin that just crawled out of the toilet, peed so much that it overflowed, and then just left?
Here's the twist. You're the pee goblin.
You're the pee goblin. You gotta go. You gotta go pee in that toilet.
You gotta go right now.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I like how they're waiting for our approval.
If you don't go right now...
I need to go. I need to
We're still streaming, so you can't...
The thing is, like, we're going to say something really, really, really funny that they're going to miss.
You're going to miss, and there's definitely not going to be a VOD of it.
God,
so...
that would be terrible.
Whew.
Man.
You just are just
the anxiety is just flowing out of you like a waterfall.
Wow. Wow.
You know, I mean, we are a river of comedy.
You could go right now, but then you might miss something really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awful, wouldn't it?
So, I mean, if you want to go right now...
Yeah, you better. You should probably do that. We'll be right back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast. We'll kind of wrap it up in the last, 20 minutes or so of the show. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. So, there's not really much on the news front, outside of that whole Far Cry Primal got announced, if I recall correctly.
Right, there's a trailer. I haven't seen
That
it.
happened. It's okay. It's... it's like a caveman walking around with mammoths.
Okay.
And a saber-toothed tiger attacks him.
Okay.
And it shows that you can use bow and arrow, and you can use a spear. And then, at the very end, it's a dude walking through a forest with a torch, and it's like, right? And something's coming, and then a bunch of masked dudes jump out of the forest, like, and that's how it ends. It looks like they took the premise of Far Cry 4's Thunka mind trippy thing,
Okay.
and said, let's make an entire game of just that.
Right.
Which is...
It's a standalone kind of expandalone thing. It's not a full price release, right?
I don't know. It might be the next Far Cry. I have no clue. I couldn't tell you the price.
Oh, so it's... We don't know how big of a thing this is. If it's just like, here's a little bit of poop, or if it's... Here's your entire bowel system.
Well, because apparently IGN accidentally revealed it, and then they released a video reveal on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay.
And it seems to be a spin-off of sorts, from what I can tell. Mm-hmm. According to... we don't know what the price tag is yet. Like, people have said, oh yeah, so it's going to be full price.
People are speculating.
Yeah, the problem is, because it'll probably have popped up for pre-order on Amazon, they just put, a placeholder price when they do that. So that's not really... We don't know how big or small a game it's going to be yet.
I'm very interested to see what they can do in Far Cry without guns and things. Because the best you can do is a bow. I mean, I feel like what they could do is they could do what they did in the Thunka bits in Far Cry 4, where you got powers and abilities and you did stuff. And so you could fly and shoot multiple arrows. I don't think they'll go that far, but multiple arrows or... having a better spear, or...
Will they just, give up and say, hey, you can do magic now?
I mean, I love that while scrolling through this, we kept seeing people being like, nobody's done a historically accurate Ice Age. I'm like, is that what you're looking for with the Far Cry version?
Yes, yeah.
It's not
Far Cry's not accurate anything.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly. I'm like, they're not going to do, let's try to employ some good science into this one.
Yeah, it'll be bullshit. Absolutely, no doubt it will be bullshit.
Yeah.
But the question is, will they... is it an expandalone? Is it a $60 game? We don't fucking know.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the rich setting of the Stone Age only multiplies the amount of deadly weapons, dangerous threats, and incredible stories that Far Cry is known for. I'm going to say false.
Yes.
I'm going to say false on that.
What incredible stories is Far Cry known for? Exactly.
What multiple Stone Age weapons can you come up with?
Well, there's various shapes of rock.
Yeah, different cudgels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe a dagger, a spear, a
hammer.
bow and arrow. Ooh, a hammer.
Hatchet, maybe.
Oh, the old hatchet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sling, perhaps a sling.
Fire.
Yeah.
Sure.
On a stick.
Fire is apparently a feature of the game. It's like setting your weapons on fire or scaring off predators at night. Master the element of fire.
Ooh.
They're definitely... Oh my god, they're definitely going to do the rock throwing shit again, where you can, distract people with rocks. But also, now they have the meat mechanic. So in 4, you could throw meat and, animals would show up.
Well, that was in Blood Dragon, wasn't it? That's where they got that from originally.
Was that in Blood Dragon?
Yeah, because you could lure the big fucking
That's right.
things around to attack an outpost, yeah.
The Blood Dragons.
Yes,
Yeah.
literally Blood Dragons.
Literally, the Blood Dragon. And giant beasts. So, it feels like Arky. it feels a little like, oh yeah, no, and if you go in the water, I guess like a megalodon will show up. Here's the thing: if you go in the water and a megalodon shows up, and you get one of those like bite cinematic things it always does, and you aren't instantly bit in half, the game's not real. The game is.
I would like a historically accurate Ice Age, please.
I want them to.
Gonna chat like actually hammers were Iron Age, so
that's probably true. Or I mean, even
they're not gonna give a fuck about that, and I can guarantee it.
No.
Oh, you know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be like, well, don't you understand? One of the tribes is like the first Bronze Age people or Iron Age people. And so they've mastered, like, a new thing called Sky Metal, which is like steel or some bullshit. And it's going to be like the Sky Metal Warriors. And so then you steal their weapons. Fucking just hire me already. I'm just making games for you at this point. Like, oh yes, no, that's why I have this giant katana now.
Yep. Love it.
Bullshit.
Love it.
You know that's what's gonna happen. We all know that's what's gonna happen.
I'll give him credit. Like, it is a decent setting that hasn't really been used that much yet. Yeah. So I kind of dig that. Oh, it's not like Far Cry 4's setting wasn't used all that well. It's like, yes, the Himalayas, that's awesome, but we're still doing the same shit in the Himalayas, and your storyline is awful, and all your characters are awful, so it doesn't really matter where we are. So maybe they can make this work if they take it so far away from the modern day. I don't know though. It's Ubisoft. Probably not.
The one thing I will say is thank you for not including anything in the water. Like, they included demon fish that were literally just big fish.
Yeah.
This big asshole fish. I was like, oh, this isn't frightening at all. Like, these fish are not scary at all. I was fine. I don't care about honey badgers.
Fuck those alligators in Far Cry 3. Fuck those things.
Oh, man. Far Cry 3 had way too much shit in water that could kill you. That is my biggest... I think I've honed it down. Water, things in water that can kill you? Fuck
Not
that.
a Final Blood Dragon's Mecha Sharks, then.
Oh, no. The one mission, there is a mission in Blood Dragon, so you're like, Jaws. You have to enact Jaws. And I was like,
I mean, that's the one thing that I can say I appreciated about Monster Hunter 4, was that they were like, no more water battling. I was like, thank you.
Which was the worst. Oh, my God.
Water battles in Monster Hunter Try, I was just like, every time it had to do with water, it's like, fuck this game.
And of course, chat's like, stone radio towers? Yeah. You know there's going to be
smoke signal towers.
Yeah. Smoke signal towers, there you go, yeah.
And you know why they built those towers? Because they have the sky metal.
Of course they have the sky metal.
The sky metal that has fallen from meteorites. Right. And that's why they can craft much better weapons that can decapitate people and do cool shit. I'm telling you, that's the shit that's going to happen. They're going to be like, oh yeah, no, the tribe they show at the very end who has like white masks and shit, clearly way more advanced than your tribe.
Right.
And the only way to stop them is to learn their abilities.
Right.
Probably.
Oh my god, if it is aliens though, that'd be fucking awesome.
The other tribe is just aliens.
No, you
don't pull a crisis on this.
You're an alien. No, you are aliens.
Mankind is aliens! Is that the...
It's more like...
and add aliens to the bottom.
Yep. Sounds right. Yeah. Yep. So, perfect. Far Cry Primal is gonna be good shit.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, there we go. Okay,
ready? Perfect. Wonderful.
There you go. Done. Easy.
Not much on the news front outside of the fact that they've released the beta for Star Wars Battlefront.
Yes.
The internet got a bit of a tizzy because
people were losing it this morning.
Yeah, because they apparently in the recommended specs for PC they're like 16 gigs. I know. So I think it had something to do with that, and people's like, I don't have 16 gigs, so I'm fucked. But I've been reading various forums like, no, it's fine with 8. Like they say minimum is 8, so I don't think it actually that game needs 16 at all.
I feel like it has to do with your definition of fine. I imagine a dude who's like, it's fine, is not gonna have the same attitude as a guy who's like, I must have 60,000 gigs of RAM and then also use my RAM as storage for shit, like that guy.
RAM discs.
Yeah, I imagine that's gonna be completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like the people that really care about the level of performance already have 16 gigs of RAM because RAM is cheap as fuck.
Yes.
Like it really is. So I think it's people are kind of getting a bit in a tizzy over it because it's one of the first games to really say we recommend 16.
Right.
Which is fine because eventually
that happens.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah. I remember the old days when it was like 4 would suffice.
Yeah, exactly. 4? Why would I need more than 4?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember when we got like I think there was a PC we bought that had 4 gigabytes of space on it, and my dad and I were like,
4 gig hard drive?
Yeah, we were like, we're
Wow.
never gonna use all
Right,
that. What
right.
could we possibly use that for?
My
And now
first
I look
hard
back
drive
and
was
I'm like,
100 megs. Like,
oh man, love it, love it, love that shit.
I definitely, it's just a changing of the times.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
they're
will
just
happen.
saying, here's the bigger question that we all need to focus on. What the fuck are they using that 16 gigs for?
I don't know, because I've seen that game and that does not look like a 16 gig game.
What are they using it for? I feel like there's a problem that we just don't understand.
Aliens.
Yes.
Aliens.
And of course, what else would it be?
Yeah, I don't even know. But there are apparently new modes in the game. So there's the normal mode that everyone has seen already, and there's 3 others.
Yeah.
So I'm downloading that beta. I want to see what those are.
Yeah, I need to download it eventually. The timing is not perfect.
Right.
I'll try it when I get back. I mean, I can't really talk much about what I played at the alpha, but I think it was the same as what you played at E3, and you know how that was. So, I'm not excited for that game. I'm really not. Like, there's nothing in there other than, but it's Star Wars, guys, that really makes me excited.
Yeah, here's
Yeah.
the thing. That's why I'm excited, though. I'm
That's
like,
the
but
other
it's
thing,
Star Wars. Yes.
I mean,
I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna chill and see how everybody else feels about it.
yeah.
Because as a person who is not super connected to Star Wars as a franchise, I don't have that, but it's Star Wars, I gotta try it.
It's
feel.
just like me with 40k, but it's 40k. I just played the 40k chess game. It's actually really good. Surprisingly good.
Yeah, you'll play pretty much anything in 40K.
If it's Warhammer, yeah. It was like when people complaining, it's like, oh, well, Vermintide's just kind of like Left 4 Dead with Warhammer. It's like, yeah, so in other words, it's Left 4 Dead, but interesting. Because it's not fucking zombies.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah, Vermintide. A bunch of people have been trying that out too.
Vermintide's good. I liked it a lot when I played it. I think the topic, what the fuck am I saying? The version I played was maybe was a little bit more outdated than the one that people are playing in beta now. But what I played of it so far is like that is a good co-op game. That is a good co-op game. It's if you liked Left 4 Dead and you wish that Left 4 Dead had more melee weapons and actually had progression of some sort, that's what Vermintide is. You get loot.
Right.
That's the thing which keeps you playing. You get fucking loot in that game. So if you win a level, you get like a loot roll at the end, and you can actually collect dice during the run, which will give you a better loot roll. And that means you'll get different weapons to bring as your part of your loadout, and then they start to get magical effects on them, and you can forge your own weapons with different effects. Like, this one has lifesteal, and is now on fire, and does all this shit. So that's how they get you to keep playing.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's really smart, actually. Yeah, it's great. And just bashing fucking Skaven's head in with a hammer, it never gets old.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
I guess kind of it for news. Like, there really isn't anything else. People are like, oh, can you talk about the Star Citizen escapist legal issue? No. You want to know why? Because nobody knows. Nobody knows.
It would all be more speculation to throw into the pot.
Yeah.
So there's no...
I hear, this is what I hear from the
yeah, there we
inside,
go.
that Star Citizen was finally going to release their game, but the escapist is trying to keep them from doing it because they want me to suffer in the fact that I donated a lot of money to get an awesome ship and will never have it. That's what I heard. So, yeah. Escapists, they just don't like me. That's what this is all about. They just aren't a
It's
fan
all
of
about
me.
you.
They just don't like me,
Oh
so...
my gosh.
It's all
Yeah.
guesswork. The whole thing is a fucking mess. I mean, there's nothing more meaningful that anybody outside of either Escapist or Cloud Imperium could say. Because none of us know exactly how reliable that information was. None of us know how much of it's true and isn't. We'll probably find out by the end of it when somebody sues somebody else. As it stands, we don't have a fucking clue. So there's no point, and I think everyone else is just kind of grandstanding at the expense of like another website or a Cloud Imperium, depending on who they like more. That's all it is. It's fucking people have chosen sides just to bitch. And that is not interesting at all.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah, it was totally Cloud Imperium's fault. Totally them.
But off the record. But very much on the record.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense.
Word up.
Yeah, I think that's about it, really. We've got our thing that we're doing tomorrow. and you guys won't know about it for fucking ages, actually. We just looked at the production schedule. Yeah.
I'm not involved.
No, sorry,
She's
guys.
not.
You don't get to know about what it is.
She's not involved.
No, sorry.
Haha!
Yeah, but that's kind of pretty much it for the show. There's not really much else to say. We do not have a list of releases because we didn't organize anything. I said, oh yeah, let's turn to the office and do something.
Yeah, and we did it.
So we did.
But we did that. We did that. That happened today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. We have done a thing. And we got lots of viewers for it, which I guess is kind of
so
disappointing.
sad.
But
So sad.
with this mic, with this setup, yeah.
So sad.
It's like, we're going to have to teach Dodger how to do audio eventually. That's going to happen.
No.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
JP has literally had conversations with me before where he's like, you are so frustrating. I just want to fly out there and just fix your setup. I hate talking to you about computers. I'm like, sorry.
Here's the thing. The
You don't have
minute
the
you
side
moved
of your
again,
computer, it's
you
just
would be...
lying there.
I know, because I opened it up to blast it out, and then I just never bothered putting the side back on.
I've knocked over parts of your computer this entire podcast, and you'll notice every once in a while I'll look straight down, because I think I've destroyed her computer. I'm like, oh shit, did I break something? No, it's still good. It's still
It's
going.
because if it's closed up, I've realized if I leave it closed up, I never open it up to clean in there. So if I just leave the side off, then every few days I'm like, I wonder
not
if
at
I
all.
have...
That is not making it any cleaner. That's not. You're not doing yourself any favors by just leaving it open.
But it means that I don't just get like dirt like this high everywhere. There's just like a small layer of dirt, and I get rid of it quick, right?
That's not at all how it works. That's not at all how it works.
It is. It is.
Oh.
Everybody's like, what? Anyways.
What are you doing?
Thanks for watching the Cooptional Podcast.
Yes, indeed.
In my office. Yay!
Yeah.
We did it in here with my Bulmas and Yu-Yus. Aren't you excited?
Is it Yu-Yu kind of cookie or something?
No, it's
Like-
my Yu Yu Hakusho figure.
I don't know
Except for
what that
That's
is.
my Kuroka.
Oh, why do you have like a sexy chick back there who's hiding behind you?
Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, look at her. I let her attack my Titan. If you know what I'm saying.
Wait, we might be back the same time next week in the regular format, I think.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Now we've got to find a guest who's willing to come on after this shit show. I know.
Crendor's available.
Thank you for watching the Co-optional Podcast. We are now leaving to do other things. I hope you enjoyed the show. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody. See ya.
Oh my god, that Crendor was amazing.